Good morning, and happy Monday. Welcome, everybody, to the Tri-State Traffic Show. Don here in the Tri-State Traffic Show Traffic Center, and welcome to a Monday. Hopefully had a terrific weekend across our entire area. Weather yesterday was kind of, temps like in the 70s or so it definitely was a lot cooler than certainly what it was the past weekend before that. So hopefully you did get out and enjoy. Wasn't really washout per se the entire weekend, but definitely not summertime temperatures. But today, a little bit of a change. Johnny is still doing some, he's setting up now for some summer classes. So hopefully we'll get John back in the Weather Center in a couple of days or so, where I just want John to sort out things there for his summer studies at Rutgers. So again, we don't want to get involved in taken away from his time from the studies. Whatever he can do for us here on the show is so much appreciated, and John's doing just an amazing job. So I will be sitting in once again for Johnny. We'll have another check, or a first check, I should say, really coming up in about 10 minutes. Apologize, we're a little bit late here this morning. Just trying to get everything kind of up and running after the weekend. So yeah, for the most part, roads are in fairly good shape. We do have some issues with Metro North, which I think we're going to start with here in just a moment. Also, just want to let you know, coming up at 8:30, we're going to have Jennifer Schuck from New York Waterway. She's going to come on, and we're going to talk about their upcoming event for 4th of July. It's really cool, a 4th of July cruise on one of the boats, or several of the boats, actually, and going to be a lot of fun getting out into the East River. I believe they're in the East River this year again. I don't think they switched them over to the Hudson River, but we'll talk to Jen at 8:30, and then we're going to talk about New York Waterway, a little history behind that, and just we'll see where the conversation goes. But again, that's coming up at 8:30 this morning. All right, so with that said, let's get to the action here this morning. We'll go to our maps, and I forgot to mention that we are sponsored by my good friend Ralph over at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com is where you want to go to get more information for any and all information on the best ice cream anywhere to be found. He is located in beautiful Cranford, New Jersey, 908-272-3000. And again, head to the website for some more information on the shop and all the great ice cream that he has to offer. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just take a quick scan of the roads and just to see what the deal is here this morning. We have just some light congestion, and the first spot is going to be here along the Parkway as we travel south. It's still a little heavy getting into Kenilworth and exit 138. There was an earlier crash that is now out of the way for us, but the northbound side, heavy from, I'd say, 137 in Cranford on up into 138. And again, the accident was actually going south, but that rubbernecking delay is still with us here this morning. We have some delays on the northbound Turnpike into 14 is a solid ride. So it's 19 getting the truck routes 1 and 9. Our Hudson River crossings all within the 25 to 30 minute category. Your Parkway is busy 145 up to 150 or so, but 80, 46, 17, and also onto 287 is clean and green. Eastbound 80, we're picking up a little bit of a delay here as we hit east of Route 15, and that is a little bit of sun glare kind of peeking in to the picture. We're already at 68 degrees here and partly cloudy, so kind of definitely a muggy feel to the air. I had to drop the air conditioner down a couple degrees here this morning just to take out some of the humidity. So that's, if you hear that in the background, that's what it is. It's in the background. So anyway, so the Turnpike looks in pretty good shape. So is the Garden State Parkway. A little backing up here as we get into Lakewood by exit 89, but really that's about it. 295 as well as the AC Expressway and your Garden State Parkway down to exit 0 is looking good. 4255. Kind of what else is new, right? It's usually what we see. Speaking of that, since we have the cameras, we are going to go there because we're going to jump into Connecticut and the Hudson Valley right after I do this camera. So I can give you the fresh update on Metro North. I just want to see what it looks like here along 42 at 55. Let's just check that out in real time. see what the vibe is there. So that's north again. This is north heading away from us. This is the 55 ramp that comes in. So heavy, steady moving traffic up into the Aljo curve. Last week we heard from Bernie Wagon Blast, my good friend, telling us about the Aljo curve and why that was named the way it is. So again, that's northbound on 42 coming into 55. All right. So with that said, let's do this. Let's go to the MTA. I want to check in with Metro North. I know earlier this morning there were some power issues here along the New Haven line. So let's go there. So the New Haven line is currently delayed because of earlier power issues between Mount Vernon East and Harrison. New Haven line customers should anticipate 20 to 30 minutes delays and possibly some canceled combined trains this morning. And our crews are investigating earlier loss of power between Mount Vernon East and Harrison. Metro North is, is usually, they have very few problems when it comes to power at times. And again, a lot of that has to do with, some of it has to do, coming along the shoreline. There's very few trees and things like that, like New Jersey Transit has to deal with out of the Morrison Essex line. But, they are, it's rare that you do pick up delays of that magnitude. Pascagoula Valley 722 from Spring Valley is canceled. Mechanical issue there. Take 739 from Spring Valley, making additional stops. Okay. Let's go to the maps here because I just want to see what that Harrison, that whole deal there. New York City subways, nope. Bus maps, nope. This is an excellent guide, though. I will say MTA has done a nice job with the website as far as their maps are concerned to try to give you some clarity here. We're going to zoom in just a little bit. Okay. Wow, this computer is really running slow already, and we're only not even 7 minutes into the broadcast. Why, I got to get something new. I was looking at potentially I may be able to get a computer, an old Mac Pro from about 10 years ago. I don't know whether that would help us out, but we'll see. We'll see. It does need definitely needs some work, but I'm thinking my nephew and I could have a little project there to go ahead and do. So it's between Mount Vernon East here and Harrison. So it's all in Westchester County. But again, it's going to affect, trains coming in from New Haven all the way down up through Westport and South Norwalk and Darien and Stamford and Greenwich. So again, give yourself definitely some additional travel time. So let's go back to the delay screen, I should say. We're coming up on 7:13. So we're going to take a quick check of weather here in about 2 minutes, and then we'll jump into the city. 6:45 train from Tottenville to St. George will not operate as much service as we can. Okay. Let's go to close out of this. We'll check New Jersey Transit while we're on the train theme at this point. Long Island Railroad was on or close to schedule, so that is some good news for our Islanders. 526 departures from Jersey Avenue, New Brunswick canceled. Take the 6 o'clock. Okay, so it's an hour old. 6:55 from Hoboken operating on or close. That's good news there. 722, we mentioned that. And the Newark Light Rail, 6:59 from Branchbrook Park to Newark Penn is canceled for operator availability. Okay, so let's, okay, we got about a minute or so. Let's just do quickly Connecticut now. Let me bring up the Connecticut incident page, just check in with our friends there just to see if anything is happening. We got delays here, 95, 27, 13. What else is new there? 49, 42 on the Merit. So that's in this area here. And now it's starting to back up. I'm going to go 41 through 39. So again, from 27 straight on down the line to just about exit 13 or so. And then it's starting to build more traffic in towards Stamford between exits 8 and 6. Lower Westchester is fine, except for a little crowding here south along the Hutch as we get south of 287. Cross County, also fairly busy ride both ways here. Out by the Hutchinson River Parkway and then the New England Thruway. Again, traffic looks in good shape there. Just be careful. Once you come down to where the thruway turns into the Deegan. That's where we're seeing a lot of heavy traffic out to the Cross Bronx. Tappan Zee Bridge, the bridge is fine. It's the southbound thruway is awfully slow here from 14 through 13 into 12. But again, what else is new there, right? The thruway, Orange County looks good. 84, Route 6, 84 is quiet. And Fishkill and Brewster, but then west on 84 is a pretty busy ride getting into the 684 interchange, but 684 is in good shape as well. All right. So with that said, we are going to take a quick break. Oh, I forgot to mention the comments are open on Facebook and on YouTube. So certainly leave a comment. We have a couple of folks here. Yeah, Alexandra, good morning. She says, good morning from East Rutherford. Mostly recovered from COVID. That is great news. Excellent. That's right. Alexandra tested positive late last week. So we're wishing her well wishes there. Still having issues with certain foods and drinks. Feeling a lot better than when I tested positive last Wednesday night. So that is good news, Alexandra. You're on the mend. One thing I will say from having COVID at the beginning of the year, I'd say just watch the fatigue. That was the one thing that kind of got me. That lasted for several weeks, and I even mentioned that out to another friend of mine whose birthday was yesterday, and I mentioned to her that, the fatigue is something you got to watch out for. Now, she's got 3 kids and a husband and an whole household that's all around her, but that's the one thing, if you feel tired and you can do it, sleep. No matter what time of the day is, the sleep is definitely going to help in the recovery. And again, the taste will come back. It took me probably about a month or more for that to come back, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a slow process, but as long as you're not having any breathing issues, and if you have one of those oxygen meters, those are all important as well. So certainly, if you can, just go ahead and check that. But glad to hear that you're feeling better, and we wish you well, and certainly check you out tomorrow as well to see how you're feeling there. But Alexandra always stays with us the entire 2 hours, so we welcome her onto the show. My buddy, meteorologist Justin Godnick. Morning, Don. Noticed a lot of cars heading north yesterday because of rain. You think short traffic impacts nothing commute today? Yeah, I think it's just, I think maybe some slight traffic heading down the shore. And just because, it's going to be a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. And since they kind of lost the beach day from yesterday, but I don't think it should be anything. I don't think it should be anything terrible. Again, schools are still in session. If this were 2 weeks from now, I'd say, yeah, then maybe a different story. If this was June 27th, I'd say, yeah, that would be probably a different vibe. But today, schools are still in. Schools, a lot of the kids have to be in because of the prom. A lot of schools had proms on Friday. So those kids are required. They have to be in. There's no getting around it. Not like the old days, Justin, with us going to the prom. Ours was like in the Memorial Day weekend, and, you stayed the weekend and then you called out that Monday. So, but absolutely. The key is the schools. The school in New Jersey, the schools kind of rule the roads, really. Once we get in 2 weeks, you're going to see a big difference during the week. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a big difference. And even around the tri-state area, for the most part, is going to be, it's going to take a little longer for some of this traffic to build up. So yeah. Thanks, JG, for jumping in. And, I think Justin will agree with me on the fatigue for the COVID. Unfortunately, he had it as well. He had it a lot earlier than I did, but definitely the fatigue, and it's going to take a little bit of time for that smell and taste to kind of come back. And honestly, Alexandra, you're probably about maybe the fourth or fifth person that I know that's tested positive and has unfortunately been sick over the last 2 weeks. So it almost feels like we're having just a little mini outbreak again, like we had at the end of last year. But again, hopefully, obviously we want everybody to be safe and be careful. But again, it's just kind of going around a little bit. So again, just be careful. And she says, Alexandra says, she's definitely feeling the fatigue. Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. You just couldn't get out of your own way. That was always the toughest thing about it. It really was just, it just felt like you couldn't even get out of bed, going from your bedroom to the kitchen just to make something to eat if you were feeling, hungry. But yeah, that fatigue is something you have to really be mindful of. And again, if you're able to sleep, do it. I don't care whether it's 2 in the afternoon. If you can, do it, because that's one of the key things that's going to certainly help you out. Justin says cough stuck around for like 3-4 weeks in his case, never lost smell or taste, never had a fever, but the cough stuck around. Yeah, had a bit of a cough myself, and that's again something to keep on top of as well. I know we're digressing from weather here at this point, but this is a good conversation here to help Alexandra, one of our loyal and supportive viewers here on the Tri-State Traffic Show. Yeah, that cough stuck around with me, probably not as long, the 3-4 weeks there, but hydration is key. Definitely water, some Gatorade, definitely keep pushing the fluids through, just like you would if it was the flu or other, if you're not feeling well with a cold. But yeah, so anybody else have any other tips out there for Alexandra? It sounds like she's doing fairly well, but still a little bit under the weather. All right, so speaking of the weather, wow, was that just a perfect segue into the weather? On our forecast provided by Mr. Jon Rocco. He is our Rutgers meteorologist in training over at beautiful Rutgers Piscataway. And he's also president of the Weather Watchers Club. Again, Johnny will be back to giving us the forecasts here probably towards the end of the week. And again, we want to have him concentrate on his studies. So he's setting up for his summer classes today. The next couple days, he just needs to get that all squared away, and then he will be back. All right, so John is saying here this morning, expect a few early morning showers, perhaps some thunderstorms, mainly in South Jersey, and those will exit, and we'll see the sun break out by the afternoon. Now, temps are going to be in the upper 80s for inland areas, so again, it's going to be a fairly warm day here this morning. As you can see, kind of cloudy, kind of a humid, kind of a sticky feel out there. Let's go on over towards our temperature forecast here. Again, you can see that, and anytime you get these temps in the upper 60s to lower 70s here already at 6:22 in the morning, it's off to the races as far as the humidity and also the temperatures. So we're looking at anywhere between 68 to 70 to 72 here for the 7 and 8 o'clock hours throughout the Garden State this morning. And let me just switch the slides here. There we go. 5 boroughs looking at, again, upper 60s to lower 70s between 7 and 8 o'clock. Little slightly cooler by a degree or two, not by much. 66 in Farmingville, 68 in Shirley, and 66 in Islip, and getting closer to 70 as we head up towards 8 a.m. Hudson Valley looking a little bit cooler there up towards Middletown and Monticello, as we always do. 64, 66 there in Patterson, and up to 70 in Yonkers. And then Western Connecticut looking at 62 in Torrington, up to 66 by 8 o'clock or so, and then getting close to 70 in Bridgeport, Norwalk, and New Haven. So here's today's forecast. Mr. Jon Rocco, some early showers and storms to the south. Keep an eye to the sky there. And then some sun and clouds. But look at those temperatures, 88 in Cherry Hill, 88 in Central Park. A little cooler down the shore, about 78 or so in Cape May, and 84 up in New Haven, and 83 in Islip. So, it's one of those kind of early summertime feels. But hey, look, I mean, summer is only what's today, the 13th, 21st. So it's from 21st, 22nd. I'm not sure what it is today. Maybe Justin may know. There are 8 days or so, and we'll be officially into summer. So, we talk, the bigger story would be is if it was going to be today the high of like 62 instead of 88. That's the story. A lot of green here on the weather threats map here for Johnny. Monday, early showers and storms to the south. That's today, obviously. Bonk. Half asleep. Morning showers even tomorrow with some storms to the south, and nothing on the radar here so far for Wednesday. A few showers are possible for Thursday, and a few showers are possible for Friday. So we're kind of in that little bit kind of early tropical feel to the air. So again, just kind of keep an eye to the sky. Maybe just pack that little light umbrella. We'll get a check of that 7-day forecast coming up at 7:45. And Auntie Anna chiming in here. Say, hey, good morning. Buenos dias. And yes, glad you're feeling better, Alexandra, as do I and everybody else watching the broadcast. And there's Justin, June 20th. So I was I was off. I was off a couple days there. So June 20th. So in a week's time, next Monday, we're looking at summer officially rolling in to the tri-state area. All right, so let's get back into the action here this morning, coming up on 7:25. Let's go towards the city. We did the Hudson Valley in Connecticut a little bit earlier than what usually I do. We'll go to the city now. So let's do this. Let's bring up the city incident page. I know we haven't done the Hudson River crossings. We'll get to that in a second. But wow, what is going on here? What did I do? What did I do, Smitty? There we go. This city incident page. So just some delays in the RFK Triborough. So that is heading in towards Manhattan and the Bronx at this point. So, yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Just a lot of volume here east on the expressway, the Staten Island Expressway, I should say, from the West Shore into the Verrazano and then up and onto the Gowanus. What else is new there? Getting over to the BQE in the Trench, Belt Parkway west at Flatbush, a little heavy, then west again from Sunrise Highway into the Van Wyck. And then the Van Wyck just getting drilled here both ways into Hillside Avenue. Both ways of the Jackie Robinson, pretty busy as we get in towards Kew Gardens at a Forest Park Drive. Westbound Grand Central is heavy here this morning as we get out to the Kew Gardens interchange. West on the LIE is heavy straight from Long Island. This is about the heaviest we've seen it for the morning rush hour from about, I'd say, 33 or so. Little Neck Parkway, just east of that, all the way out to Woodhaven Boulevard. BQE is pretty busy both ways at the Kosciuszko Bridge. We'll say about 10 minutes, not even that, at the Queens Midtown Tunnel. Same thing at the Queensboro Bridge, about 5 to 6 at the Battery Tunnel. Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Manhattan bridges are all looking good. Cross Island, just a long line of traffic here from Sunrise Highway all the way up into the basically the Throgs Neck. And then the westbound Grand Central heavy at the airport all the way onto the RFK. Eastbound Cross Bronx heavy out to Jerome, both ways of the Deegan, a slow ride out by Yankee Stadium. Speaking of those Yankees, are they unbelievable or what? I mean, they just shellacked the Cubs last night, like 18-5 or something. I mean, they're just on a tear. Got the best record in baseball. Followed up, secondly, by the crosstown rivals, the Mets, who had a nice win in Los Angeles last night against the LA Angels, or I'm not sure what they call it, Los Angeles Angels. Used to be Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I don't know if the Anaheim is still kind of tacked on at the back of back onto the name, but nonetheless, a good win for the Mets. West on the Cross Bronx is heavy there at the Bronx River Parkway, and the Throgs Neck Bridge is awfully slow as we head out to, and same thing with the Whitestone. So really busy coming from the Bronx into Queens. Right, so we saw the subways earlier. We're coming up on 7:28. I forgot to talk about Ralph and the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. He's such a proud sponsor of the Tri-State Traffic Show, and I just want to make sure we don't forget Ralph, my friend. So Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery was some of the best handmade homemade ice cream around. And you can check him out in beautiful Cranford, New Jersey, in historic Union County, right off the Raritan Valley line, the Cranford stop. Just literally get off the train and walk right across the street, and you are there for some of the best ice cream anywhere to be found. Again, he has the the core staple flavors: vanilla bean, chocolate, bananas Foster. Just great stuff. Same thing with Cookie Monster, and also a party cake and holy cannoli. Cotton candy is just another kid favorite. And he makes, these amazing other treats. And I'm sure Justin's probably getting hungry because it seems like Justin just eats 24/7. All the time I always work with him, Justin was munching on something or grabbing a Red Bull. But I hope Justin doesn't do the Red Bull thing anymore, because that was pretty crazy. Anyway, I digress for the first time, and will be many more in the next hour. These little cupcakes are just fantastic. And, vanilla ice cream, vanilla cake, just absolutely delicious for the kids or for anybody else. And he has these great ice cream sandwiches, the flying saucers and chip witches. Also, we have obviously the graduations for a lot of the schools coming up here in the next 2 weeks or so, maybe even less than that for some of the private schools that may even be all out already. So we have these classic ice cream cakes, the pillowy soft vanilla and chocolate ice cream. Yeah, with the little chocolate crunchies on the inside. The small round, 7 to 8 people, large up to 30 to 40 people. So just to get those orders in, we got Father's Day next Sunday. So it's going to be really busy, I know, for Ralph for these cakes. So if you want a cake, definitely get that order in early. So there's the shop once again in beautiful Cranford, New Jersey, 22 North Avenue, which is Route 28 on your GPS for those outside of New Jersey. 908-272-3000 is the phone number. He's open from 12:30 to 9:30 Monday through Thursday, till 10 on Friday and Saturday, until 9 o'clock on Sunday. All right. So it's been a fairly mild morning. We'll put it at that here this morning. And so you are watching the Tri-State Traffic Show. If I can get the microphone out of my face. Donk. It's a Monday, right? Good morning, everybody. O'Don here in the Tri-State Traffic Center. Welcome. Happy Monday at 7:31 now. And just checking out our ride. And for the most part, it's fairly... maybe a little bit lighter. We're not there yet, as I mentioned to Justin. We're not going to really get there until probably 2 weeks from now, once the school's let out. But nonetheless, it's still not a terrible ride for our area. Some issues with on Metro North for some of our New Haven riders there coming through Harrison over in towards the heading south there. So we'll get to that in a moment throughout Lower Westchester. We want to thank Justin for jumping into the conversation. Same thing with Anna. Good morning to you. And Alexandra definitely is feeling a little bit better, but still not 100%. So definitely put your well wishes into the comments there on YouTube and Facebook. Don't forget to pass it along to everybody. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely helps out greatly for me trying to get this traffic and weather station up off the ground here from my living room. That's exactly what it is. So I appreciate everybody and all the support that we've had so far. It's been a great response, and we just need to keep pushing forward, right? So hopefully we'll bring you some other content as well, maybe some more interviews, which we will have an interview coming up in less than an hour with Jennifer Schuck from the York Waterway. She'll be talking about their 4th of July cruise, and really sounds like a fun event there. If you're looking for something different to do for the holiday, this is certainly something to put on your list. She's going to give us all the details. We're going to talk a little bit about New York Waterway and what's new with the fine folks there at Waterway here. Again, that's coming up at 8:30. We'll have another check on the exclusive 7-day forecast coming up in about 12 minutes or so at 7:45, courtesy of Jon Rocco. And let's see, what did Justin say here? Oh, let's see here. Yeah, up to like 8 cups of coffee a day and no more riding the bull. Thank you. Justin was just, whoa. Woo, he was hitting that vending machine hard in our last place of employment with the Red Bull. It was just like he had just carte blanche, literally. It's like they knew he was coming for the vending machine and just kind of just spit out the Red Bull before he even got there. But that's good, buddy. I know you got your hands full with the baby and everything else. So, but that's probably something to stay away from. Maybe Red Bull won't be a sponsor after I say that, but it's strong stuff. We'll just put it at that. All right. So you've heard me rambling on about machinations and whatnot here this morning. So we want to talk to you about our sponsor for this half hour is Darley Newman, and we say good Monday morning to Darley. If you're not familiar with Darley, there she is. Travels with Darley is her program on Amazon Prime, PBS Create, Wonderman, Ovation TV's Journey. You can find more information at darley-newman.com. And she's getting a great response on her new program. Travels. Oh, let's see. Let me get the title right. Look Up with Darley. It's on NJPBS. So she's really getting a great response. Really a fun show in Newark. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of things that I didn't even know, and I've lived here all my life in New Jersey. So definitely check that out on NJPBS. Just do the voice remote thing and whatnot, and you'll be able to find when that program comes on. All right. So with that said, let's go back into the action here this morning. I'm going to stop the camera just to save some computing power because my little computer here is just like sweating at this point. It's just, it's looking for help. Oh gosh. Hopefully we'll be able to do something with that soon. I'm not sure, but something sooner than later, as we say, right? So let's put up the sponsorship banner. So again, we thank Darley. Hopefully she had a great weekend. Definitely you want to follow her on Twitter and Instagram, especially Instagram. She's a lot of fun, those little reels. There's a lot of fun stuff. Just traveling with her in her daily life. It's almost like a daily little vlog that she does, So really, lots of good stuff there. All right, so let's go to, which is also good, this ice cream, right? So we'll go to the bridges and tunnels. We'll check out the ride here this morning. 7:35 is our time. We are up and running on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter this morning. Please drop us a line. Let us know where you're hailing from here. This show is worldwide because of YouTube. So if you happen to be watching us from outside of the tri-state area and just joining us here this morning, I appreciate that. And just let us know where you are hailing from and coming in from this morning. There's our crossings time. So on average, about 40 to 45 at the George, almost 40 at the Lincoln, and about almost 40 at the Holland. So we're back in full force here this morning at the Hudson River crossings. So kind of normal stuff there. Let's refocus back out of the Long Island. This is our first check. We kind of just changed up the format a little bit because of the Metro North issues. We've got a crash on the Meadowbrook southbound ramp to Hempstead Turnpike. That's M5. That's going to be a little banged up there. Hopefully no one's seriously injured, but I believe there is a camera there. So we'll just check that out in real time. Okay, thank you. If anybody has any, again, I used to be big with computers back in the day, but this stuff has really gotten away from me fairly quickly. The slowdown of these websites and things in my camera, would that be a result of the processor or more of the RAM? Because I'm only dealing with 8 gigs of RAM, so maybe I need more RAM in the computer. I just don't even know. I just don't even know. So if anybody has a little more knowledge of that, that would be certainly helpful. So this is northbound on the Meadowbrook. I don't see anything on that ramp. I think that's why they moved it there from Hempstead Turnpike to the ramp. But yeah, okay. So let's go back to the maps now. And, let's just start out east. Let's just check out that vibe, getting out to the Hamptons. A solid ride here on Sunrise Highway, Hampton Bays over to Southampton into Watermill. Something on 24 through Riverhead is going to be a crowded ride. 112 doesn't look bad. The LIE, a little light congestion here, heading out towards exit 60, 59, in towards 111, and then a little more traffic out to Deer Park Avenue, and then definitely heavy ride into the Nassau line from out exit 46 on over to 44, and then from 39 all the way into Queens is just a parking lot. Same thing on the northern, right off of the Meadowbrook Parkway. So is the Wantagh heavy at the northern, the southern, lots of traffic both ways through Hempstead, exit 17 through about exit 22, and then east again at 25 or so on over to exit 28A, and then west is heavy from 109 straight on in towards Eagle Avenue. So just kind of normal stuff there along Sunrise Highway. The southern Sunrise Highway looks good. 135 is fine. So is Jericho Turnpike, 25A, 347, a little heavy there in Center Reach, 112, 25, all the way out to the North Fork on 25 in South Hole, Greenport, and Orient. Be interesting to head out to Orient or even Greenport. I'd love to see what that looks like. Just I've heard it's a very different vibe than the rest of Long Island, basically, on that North Shore. All right, so 7:39 is our time. Again, we're kind of just switching up the format slightly here this morning. We'll go back to New Jersey, and then we've got Vehicle Fire North on 42 in Gloucester Township, one lane closed. Let's see if there is a camera in this location. Let's check this out. Hopefully the weather is going to hold up here this morning or today, really. So I'm hoping I can break out the Cadillac today. I was thinking about going to a car show, maybe get some video there and a little more, add some different content. I was going to try to go live tonight, but the problem is where the car show is, the cell service is terrible because it's right near the airport. So that will be in Linden if anybody's looking to come out and say hello. I think I'm going to head over. We'll see. So this is going to be 42 going north here at College Road. Again, it's coming up into, what is this, exit 7? 8. As with that vehicle fire still being cleared. So definitely a tough go for are drivers coming off of the AC Expressway. We'll check this out. This is kind of the beginning, or depending on which way you're going, end of the AC Expressway. Again, I just don't know whether it's the RAM or it's the processor. I have a feeling maybe the RAM, since I got all these windows open. But yeah, look at that. Oof. Wow. That's ugly right there. That is not good. So this is probably going to be at least a half an hour or 40 minutes trying to progress north onto 42. Unfortunately, it's going to make, obviously, for a much better ride here at 41. This is all northbound coming towards us. And these folks here who get on in this section of 42 are going, where's all the traffic? Well, the reason why it's being held back by this vehicle fire. Are there 2 more cameras in this area? Let's see. Oh, those are construction cones. So yeah, so again, here is the 55 interchange at Deptford Center Road. What else is new there? Heading north into 42. Someday, somehow, things will go your way. Where is that lyric from? Somebody's got to know that. So yeah, so that's what we're dealing with there along 42. So let's close out of this, close out of that. We'll just check in with Path really quick while I think it's this Port Authority website is a little, just takes a lot of memory. So nothing on Path. So that's good news. Let's go back to this. We're going to close out of that. Just give ourselves a little bit of a break on the computer. So, all right. So let's go back south again. There's the issue in question along 42 is right in here. Right in here through Turnersville, just off the end of the AC Expressway heading north onto 42. So look for that. Turnpike 295, we're fine. 7370 is looking good as well. Same thing along Route 40. Things are quiet there. Parkway, Route 9, heading out to Wildwood, Cape May is off to a good start. Same thing at Atlantic City. Parkway is fine all the way in towards exit 89 through 91 in Brook Township. So that's a little heavy. You don't know whether JG is headed up north here this morning, but if he is, so far so good on your Parkway, bud, through Monmouth County, so no issues there. 18 Route 9 is fine, even at the Driscoll Bridge. Getting a little heavy here, exiting for 127. But what else is new? And then north along 287, beginning to build some volume as you get in through the Edison area. 287 Bridgewater is clear, so is 78 pretty much end to end. Finally, we get a break there in Clinton. All the way into Union. Then the westbound side coming through Vauxhall Road is a little bit heavy, but this northbound Parkway seems to be getting worse instead of getting better. So pushing a lot of volume now out of Clark. 135 and 136, 137, and heading on in towards that long-term construction. So yeah, it's just kind of volume here. We had an earlier accident, but now there's maybe another accident in that location. It looks like it's going south, possibly. Right, 7:43 is our time now. Let's check out the comments section. Let's see what we got. Good stuff, sir. Was just going to ask. So yeah, there we go. Justin, thank you, bud. Have a good ride into work when you leave here in just a few moments. Certainly let us know if you run into anything, but just wait till you get to work instead of doing it in the car. Obviously, we don't want that to occur. All right, so 7:43 is our time, less than 45 minutes from our interview with Jennifer Schuck from the York Waterway. We're going to be talking about their big 4th of July cruise, obviously coming up on 4th of July. We don't need to promote when it is because we certainly know when it is. She'll be coming up at 8:30. Should be a fun interview. I've known Jen for many, many years, done plenty of interviews over the years, and should be a lot of fun here coming up at 8:30. We're going to get everything we need to know about New York Waterway. So I got to stop here by 127 that is. Let's check that out. So northbound. So Justin heading out to 287, 440. That's going to be most of your volume. But I think if you leave here, it's probably going to ease out here very shortly within the next 20 minutes to a half an hour to sort of thin out for you as we get closer to 8:30 or so. This is the camera I wanted to show is the 142 tower. So here's south coming towards us. Now that's usually busy because of the long-term construction, but I have a feeling there may be something else involved in that as well. Heading south, take a quick check at the plaza. Yeah, it doesn't do us any good. That's out of focus, and I don't even think that camera is from right now. I think that's a little behind, as they say. It was funny over the weekend. I was watching, and you get these folks that go out to Disney World and Disneyland in California, and this guy was from Florida, and this is all they do, or from a big part of their, I think, part of their income is that all they do is walk around, Disney World for like 8 hours, and they live stream the whole thing, going on the rides and everything else. It's First of all, it's amazing that you can actually do that, and then two, I'm still so surprised that Disney even lets you do that. You put up something on YouTube and it has even a Disney song or whatever, YouTube flags it right away and they're looking to take you down. But this guy can go ahead and live stream and show you everything there is to know about the park, which is kind of cool. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but just interesting how Disney goes ahead and says, okay, we're good with that. But I digress here this morning. Oh my goodness gracious, right? So if you ever get a chance to check out one of those live streams, they're actually a lot of fun. It's actually kind of addictive. You just sit there and you watch, and next thing you know, an hour has gone by, and you're sitting here watching stuff from Disney World, which some days I wish it was, because it's a lot of fun. Those who have been able to go, although I wonder what the prices are these days. I can't imagine what that is. Oofa. But anyway, all right. So let's get to the forecast, courtesy for my good friend Jon Rocco, our meteorologist in training, and you can certainly follow him at Jon Rocco WX on Twitter, and he's also got a Facebook page too under the same handle. So he'll be giving updates to the forecast throughout the rest of the broadcast day, as we say, right? After we go off the air at 9 o'clock. So Johnny says that the potential is there maybe for a spot storm, but it's definitely a muggy, humid feel out there this morning. So again, it's already almost 70 degrees here in the traffic center. Definitely a sticky start to the morning ride. What I'm going to do is here. Again, 1 second. Let me bring back the radar map here this morning, and you can see just some light showers here, just crossing over the Philadelphia area. Probably closer towards Route 206 or so along this section. Yeah. So just some light showers there, south here of Wilmington, but the rest of the tri-state area looks to be in fairly good shape here at 7:41. So this radar is about 6-7 minutes old at this point, but nonetheless, just wanted to show you that really quick. Let's go back to our forecast here this morning. I'm going to close. Let's see here. Let's just see. I wonder if the observation list is working. It was not working earlier. Friends over at NOAA. But yeah, it is working now. All right. So again, the potential is there for just a light shower. I think mostly South Jersey. We saw the radar. There really was not a whole lot going on. So I think that's fairly diminished here at this point. Let's check out those early morning temperatures, upper 60s to lower 70s throughout the Garden State, Atlantic City, Lakewood, 70, 72, 73 in Cape May. The five boroughs, again, looking at upper 60s now, pushing closer to 70, 71 or so, closer to 70 now as we get closer to 8 o'clock here at 7:48. 66 WNBC there in Islip, and 68 in Westbury. Again, mid 60s to upper 60s to around, getting closer now to 70 as we push 8 o'clock in Yonkers this morning, and then a little bit cooler up towards the north in Torrington and Litchfield, 62, 66 there. About 70 in Hartford, and mid to upper 60s here for Bridgeport, Norwalk, and New Haven. So here's John's forecast for today. Again, once we get past the potential for that early shower, which I think has already kind of passed us by, so to say, it's going to be a fairly warm day and a little bit humid for, I'd say, about half the day, and then it looks like it's going to start to diminish the humidity, which could really make for a nice evening. But again, just keep an eye to the sky anytime we get this soupy air out there. Certainly possible for, a shower to pop up in some capacity. Looking at our highs around 88 in Cherry Hill, 88 in Central Park, 87 in Freehold. So definitely a summer-like feel today. A little cooler down the shore at 78 in Cape May. We continue over towards our threats here for today. Obviously, storms to the south, and then potentially for some morning showers tomorrow morning. And again, some more showers to the south. Wednesday looks like we're fairly clear, and then a few showers possible on Thursday and Friday. And here's the exclusive 7-day forecast provided by Mr. Jon Rocco. Again, a high of 86 today on average around the area. 81 tomorrow. 82 Wednesday looks like it's the pick so far of the week. 80 on Thursday, and a little warmer again on Friday for some chance of showers. And then the weekend, wow, if that shapes up the way Johnny has it here in the forecast now, again, we're 5 days plus out, could be a spectacular Father's Day weekend. So 80 and 79 with some golden sunshine. Hopefully the humidity is not too bad, which I don't think it will be, coming in at 79, but we'll see. That actually, if it shapes up the way that is, John will be on top of it here all week. Hopefully that stays that way for Dad's Day there on Sunday. John will be back here. We'll have another check of his forecast coming up at 7:51. I just want to show you what our temperatures are here at 6. You know what? We should really do this afterwards because the next reporting time doesn't come in until... where am I? About 7:55 or so. So let's switch the banner, and we talk to you about Travels with Darley. And we thank Darley Newman for being a proud sponsor of the Tri-State Traffic Show. You can see her show on PBS Create, Amazon Prime, Wondrum, and Ovation TV's Journey. We thank her so much for being a sponsor of the Tri-State Traffic Show. Just an amazing program. Darley gets out and shows you all the best places around the world, not just the United States, but around the world. She is worldwide, Miss Worldwide, right next to Mr. Worldwide and Pitbull, right? So Travels with Darley, just a great program, shows you all the best places to go, historic places, places that have a good adventure, outdoor adventures with biking, hiking, and also horseback travel. Best places to eat, best places to drink. Darley always finds the best local spots to be found anywhere around the world. So definitely check out Travels with Darley. And we're so happy that she is a sponsor of the Tri-State Traffic Show. And you can go to her website, darley-newman.com, for more information. And for those who are unfamiliar with Darley's program, here's just a little sample of Travels with Darley.
Hi, I'm Darley Newman, exploring California's Central Coast at an elephant seal rookery.
Even I was surprised at what you can discover when you ask a local to guide you through a new destination.
Okay, this looks a little dangerous.
Yes.
Wild to be in an ice cave in North Dakota.
In North Dakota.
Maybe deep in your soul, there's a spot that remembers how it was back in the villages.
From a classic American road trip to a national park with presidential ties, we're exploring California, North Dakota, France, Virginia, and beyond on a brand new season of Travels with Darley.
Able Stever. I guess you gotta be a little hardcore to come out and do this trail.
North Dakotans are hardy people, and the Mattahay Trail represents that well.
It's fun. I'm not sure how I'm getting back. I'll just ride home like this.
So that's just a little sample of Travels with Darley. And once again, you can find her on PBS Create, also on Wondrum, Amazon Prime, and Ovation TV's Journey. Also on NJPBS, she has a great new program called Look Up with Darley, just premiere airing last Wednesday evening on NJPBS. And check those local listings, as they used to say, right? Check your local listings for more information. I guess just go to your guide and you can look up with Darley to see when that will be on again. That was about Newark, the Brick City, the wonderful city of Newark, our largest town here, or city in the Garden State. And lots of interesting things. Again, I've lived here all my life, and there's a couple of places I had no idea, especially the Newark Airport section of the program. That part of it, that segment, really interesting. I don't want to give it away, but it's really interesting information about Newark Liberty that I didn't even know, and I've been doing traffic for a long, long time. didn't even know it existed. So again, check that out on NJPBS. And we thank Darley for being a sponsor of the Tri-State Traffic Show. All right, coming up on 7:55, we're about 30 plus minutes or so from our interview with Jennifer Schuck from New York Waterway. We'll be talking to her at the 8:30 half hour about their upcoming 4th of July cruise, which sounds like it's going to be just a grand old time. And we're also talk to Jen about some of the things happening for the summer on New York Waterway and just some updates on Waterway itself. And again, there's a lot of our friends who may not even know what New York Waterway is, may have never taken a ferry over towards the city. So we'll get all that information and more. Again, that's coming up at 8:30. All right, so let's see what we want to do now is, what do you want to do, Smitty? So 42, we still have the issues there because it's starting to get pretty warm here in the traffic center. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I got this jacket on, which is not the smartest thing to be doing sitting in my living room, right? But I digress. The second time I've digressed, right? Want to go. Let's just check out how bad that delay is on 42 first up. Again, it's pretty heavy right off the AC Expressway. It's Gloucester Township here this morning, so just piling on the traffic. And I think that's partially the reason why 168 is a little bit heavier than what it normally is getting up into this area into 42 right in here. So just be careful there because that vehicle fire that is still in the process of being cleared. Again, we saw our delays in the Parkway coming up through the Lakewood area. We got the Parkway cameras up and running. Let's just check that out in real time, shall we? We'll head down to, where are we? 89. I never remember which one's the reservoir cam. That doesn't look bad there. That's probably it right there. So we'll go here, close this up. Again, our comment section is open on YouTube and Facebook. Please go ahead and let us know where you're watching us from, as Alexandra, as well as Justin, have come into the program, and Anna from Homedale. Good morning to you, my friend. Thanks a lot for joining us. There's the Parkway here by the reservoir, and it doesn't look bad in either direction, really. So I think it's just out of the camera view, per se, for what we're seeing. Let's give the quick hit here on our temperature map. I want to seem to, this thing is really, really just a little difficult here this morning. So there's some of your observations. I think they're having some difficulty maybe with the websites or whatnot, but our latest updates here, Allentown, Lehigh Valley coming in at 67 degrees this morning. But again, you can see the humidity is really just jacked up, right? Definitely a bad hair day out there. Somerville coming in at 68, 72. So Johnny's right on with his numbers here in the upper 60s to lower 70s throughout the area. Let's just see if the Connecticut Hudson Valley page is updated. Just Central Park at 72. Sikorsky coming in at 67. So again, we're right in that wheelhouse there with our temperatures, as John has been saying. We'll take a check up towards the Hudson Valley now. Poughkeepsie coming in at 68. Stewart's at 66, 64 at Orange County and Montgomery. But again, that humidity is just sky high. Let's check out Cape May, Wildwood, Cape May County Airport, 656 at 69 degrees. 73 in Wilmington, and Ocean City Municipal Airport at 74 with some fog and mist. It's probably some of that kind of quasi-marine layer coming off the ocean there this morning. And Mount Holly with there's reporting light rain. That was an hour ago, but that was that shower that I mentioned coming across 206 at 72 degrees. All right, so I want to just set up the MTA page here this morning. And, I was thinking about that. Justin's a pilot now. I don't know if he flies anymore or not, but if he does, that would be kind of a cool, we do a little interview with Justin. That would be kind of fun, going up in the plane. He flies in Jersey. He flies out of Wall Township. But that would be a lot of fun if Justin still flies. I'm not sure with one child and one on the way and a wife and a whole family to take care of. I don't know if that's still in the cards for JG, but That certainly would be a lot of fun. All right, so we're here at 7:59 now, almost 8 o'clock on this Monday morning, and I'm going to leave the MTA page up for a second there. And welcome to the Tri-State Traffic Show. We appreciate you joining us here on your Monday morning. Join Alexandra, Anna, and Justin and myself so far. Anybody else like to jump in with the comments, please do so. I can read the comments on YouTube and Facebook. We're also streaming to Twitter as well. If you haven't find an incident that I haven't reported, certainly send that in to the Traffic Center. We thank you so much for watching us here. And now at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, John will have another check of the forecast. I will be sitting in for Johnny. He's doing some setting up his summer classes over at Rutgers, so we definitely want him to do that. That's the most important part of the situation there. So Johnny, good luck with your summer classes. Hopefully your classrooms are air conditioned there at RU. He's our meteorologist in training over at Rutgers University in Piscataway, New Jersey. We thank him for the forecast. We thank Darley for the last half hour sponsor. Now we want to thank once again Ralph, my good friend in Cranford, New Jersey, at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. You can find more information on Ralph's shop at CranfordVanillaBeanCreamery.com. We'll have a full sponsorship coming up at 8:15 when we do some weather and take a quick break. Also, make sure you follow us on YouTube as well as onto Facebook. Follow both the pages there. Like, subscribe onto YouTube. Trying to really bump up those numbers. Just let all your friends know, and if you can, just set up a subscription or subscribe. Really is what it comes down to. Doesn't cost you anything, so just a little let you know. Hit that bell notification. I guess I watch maybe too much YouTube, right? Every YouTuber throws that in there. But yeah, if you can, that certainly helps us out trying to get this traffic and weather channel up and off the ground. We're already at episode, 23, 25? I don't even, it's my show. I don't even know what episode I'm at. I can't read the title because if I do, I'm going to close out of the whole show. So, but yeah, so just about a month. I think it's been a month almost. Almost to the day, really. It was May 9th is when we started. So today is June 13th. So a little over a month. So thank everybody for the support so far. Again, coming up at 8:30, we have Jen Schuck from New York Waterway. She's going to be talking about this awesome 4th of July cruise that they have planned for 4th of July, obviously. And we're going to get some updates about New York Waterway, see what's new and fresh from our friends over at Waterway here. Again, that's coming up at 8:30. All right. So with that said, let's get back to the action across the tri-state area. We've got these delays still on the New Haven branch of Metro North, and that's because of power issues between Mount Vernon East and Harrison here this morning. So, Metro North is usually in good shape, but 20 to 30 minute delays, that's really out of the ordinary, extraordinary type of an event. They're still trying to figure out why they lost the power there this morning on the New Haven line. So that's between Mount Vernon East and Harrison, but it's definitely going to affect other line, not even so much lines, but just other, coming from other places. So the 657 from Harrison to Grand Central is up to 30 minutes late there after they had to swap out some equipment. So that should already be in Grand Central at this point. But nonetheless, you just got to be careful there. And let's just see where those, so they're Harrison out to Mount Vernon East. So it's really through Lower Westchester is what we're talking about, through New Rochelle, Larchmont, Mamaroneck, Pelham, and Mount Vernon East. Metro North is one train line I've never been on. So if you've ever been on that, let me know how that is. For the most part, they usually are in good shape as far as sticking to that schedule. They're pretty solid, going all the way up to New Haven. So again, just something to keep in the back of your mind here this morning. Let's go back to the Long Island Railroad now, looking at the Montauk branch, 731 from Spionk, doing a Babylon at 8:31. Departed 17 minutes late after receiving substitute equipment. Okay, so that's a little bit delayed there. That's also something I'd like to do, is maybe take the train all the way out to Montauk. I think that would be interesting. Bustle places trains now. Ronkonkoma to Greenport, and that's between now and 5 o'clock. And that's going until Thursday. So those westbound or inbound train buses are going to depart 20 minutes earlier than normal train times, conducting track inspections along the line. So again, something for your midday ride or really part of the morning commute is really what it comes down to. So that's the rails. Go back to the subways because these popped up here now. Northbound E, F, M, and R trains are running with delays after we moved a train that had its brakes activated near Forest Hills and 71st Avenue. So they've resumed the E and F northbound, making express stops from Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue to Forest Hills and 71st Avenue. Okay. Staten Island Railway, we're 746. St. George, Tottenville, we're not run. Operating as much service as we can. The crews we have. Okay. At least they're honest, right? So let's check out the B lane. B lane. Bonk. The B train running as much service as we can with the train crews we have available. All right. So again, some crew availability issues here this morning along some of the subway lines. Let's check in with Path again, shall we? Check out the vibe here. See what we got cooking. Nothing. So that's good news there. Let's go to NJ Transit again, since we're on the train theme this morning. Corridor and Coastline. Coastline 824. Penn Station, New York. Arrival is canceled at Meadow for mechanical issues. Take the train, the 840 for the Penn Station arrival there. And 722 from Spring Valley is canceled. 739 making all additional stops. And the light rail, Friendswood Park to Penn Station, is canceled because of operator availability. That was early this morning. Oh, excuse me. I just had a little agua, little H2O. As George Takei would say, agua. You can see I listen to a lot of Howard Stern. Anyway, I digress once again. Where are we going with this now? Let's go to, let's see what we got again with our roads. So it's this parkway here in Union County is really a bit of a concern. Coming up from 135 into the area of that long-term repair. So I think there may be something going on. I just don't know which way. It looks like it may be going south. I have a feeling there's a crash south. Let's just update this page. So now it's a crash for the upper level of the George. Do a quick refresh of the bridges and tunnels. Again, if anybody's got any computer information here, again, I used to be really good with computers, but just seems like it's a little bit sluggish moving through the web pages. But I don't know if that's more RAM I need or it's a faster processor. I'm just a little confused. So the upper roadway about 35, that's going to grow here shortly. Again, that accident just coming in. About 45 or so at the lower, about 40 at the Lincoln, about a half an hour at the Holland. So we'll see if those begin to dwindle down. But again, we're still a fairly heavy ride. I don't know. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's come here. Let's go back to the Parkway cameras. I just want to see here at 808. I just want to see if they've moved this camera on the tower 142. They moved it, but they moved it the wrong way. It's actually got to go the opposite way. Because that is definitely that is just not the long-term construction. There's definitely something going on out by Morris Avenue and Route 22 and Vauxhall Road, probably about exit 141 or right there. So if the camera was going the other way, we'd probably get a better shot at looking at that. Let's just see what this is. I think that camera is out. Currently no video feed. It'll go here. I think this is from last night. So that's or early this morning. So that's not going to help out matters at all. Exiting the Parkway there, 142 entering. Here on the right, that's getting onto that Parkway South. So there's definitely something going on. There's no question in my mind that that is not the case. We're just going to close out of that because that's going to take up a lot of computing power. So yeah, let's just go back to the maps very quickly. Then west on 78 is heavy from the Parkway over to 24 is going to be a solid ride. Bay Extension is heavy here at 14. Both ways at 280. The Stickle is busy, and the north from 143 all the way up to 150 is just jam packed. And then both ways of 46 Route 3, that combo there in Montclair State University area is heavy. West on 80 now is busy at Route 20. Then the eastbound side is heavy at Route 19. And then heavier traffic here on 17. There may be something going on here out by Essex Street. I think it's just some volume, really. I would love for the DOT to put a camera here at Essex Street, right in here, put like 2 or 3 cameras because it's always banged up there and I'm 24/7. Both the ways to Route 4 at Hackensack Avenue is sluggish. 208 heading south into Maple Avenue is busy. The Parkway in 17. That looks good. But then 80 going west here is awfully crowded just at the 280 merge. And then 80 going east of Route 15. Go exit 34, 35 through 37. And a heavy ride in towards exit 42. But 287, so far, so good. Northwest Jersey is good. 80 and 78 is clear. So what we're going to do now for the city, let's just check out the city incident page just so I don't miss anything, because I'm going to do the we're going to go 9 box here up until 8:15. We'll do a quick break and we'll get to some weather. And again, Jen Schuck coming on, dialing in here at 8:30 for the big broadcast. So let's see, upper level east, left lane of 4 lanes closed. I don't know if that's actually on the bridge itself, or are we talking about something different here this morning? Just see what we've got. Wow, I'm just blanking out here for a second. We want to go to, all right, so let's go to the 9 boxes here this morning. We're going to start on Staten Island first. We'll check out the scene. Thank you, Appel. No. Okay. All right, so this eastbound traffic on the left here this morning. Let me just bring up my screen because I can't see it. There we go, Smitty. Eastbound coming towards us here, that's getting into the Verrazano. This is the West Shore over by Bloomfield Avenue. Highland Boulevard at Arden Avenue, that looks good. Highland Boulevard at Midland Avenue is fine. Outer Bridge Crossing, we're good both directions there. Getting into Clove Road, eastbound is awfully crowded this morning. And then east here at Richmond into Victory is a crowded ride. Victory at Jersey Street, we're fine. And the West Shore at Fresh Kills Creek, that is going to be looking good. So again, just a little bit of a snapshot there around the Staten Island borough of Richmond County. We say hello to Nikki, Anna, and Paulie out there watching us on Staten Island, as they always do. 2nd Avenue, this is at the Ed Koch coming off the lower roadway. That's definitely busy there, probably about 15 minutes or so. And I keep connection to my keyboard because I'm not doing anything with the keyboard. So 5th Avenue to 49th Street through Midtown. That's fine. 7th to 34th, no issues there. Here's your FDR Drive, just jam-packed to 127. This is at 96th Street. This is northbound coming towards us, so there may have been something there happening just shortly because there's the water, so you know what side of the road you're on. This is at the Brooklyn Bridge. That's northbound that heads away from us as we continue to the Henry Hudson over by 125. That actually doesn't look bad here this morning, really. Certainly seen worse. It's a little crowded here heading south, but nothing to get terribly excited about. Just a little heavy off the George. What else is new there? Henry Hudson at 96th Street. We are fine. The West Street area out by the Intrepid. That's looking good. Let's go to the Bronx. 9 box cameras. We have actually 18 cameras going to show you. This is the first. And again, this is more of a weather shot here from the Bruckner and Hunts Point Avenue. So yeah, we're starting to clear out some of those clouds here this morning, depending on where you are. So bring along the sunglasses for the ride. Definitely going to need them. We'll get another check of the forecast here in a moment. Bronx River Parkway 174 looks pretty good. Cross Bronx at Clay. Bill Clay. Die hard. Eastbound heads away from us, is fairly busy there. Late Alan Rickman, what a great actor he was. Fantastic. Especially in Galaxy Quest too. Another one of my favorites. Fordham Road at Hughes Avenue, the Grand Concourse at 161, Major Deegan at the Triborough. This doesn't look bad here at Willis Avenue, really, heading north. Slow getting out to Yankee Stadium. There's the Deegan at 230th. Here's the Cross Bronx coming off the George, and I think this traffic being lighter than what I'm seeing is a result of whatever's going on to the George itself. On the upper level in Pelham Parkway eastbound at Boston Road is in good shape. Let's go to the second 9 boxes of cameras here this morning. We'll take a come on. There we go. Hopefully everyone can see these cameras fairly well. I could blow the cameras up just a little bit more, maybe, possibly, but I don't want to go too far out of the frame. There we go. I think that looks better. So that is the ride here by Castle Hill Avenue. That's southbound Bruckner at Castle Hill Ave. That's busy. Bruckner at the Bronx River Parkway. That's all traffic coming towards us, heading south out of Soundview, Bronx River Parkway to 174th. Again, we saw that. That's the westbound Cross Bronx here, the Bronx River Parkway, just a mess. This is both ways to the Deegan at Willis Avenue. Really looks good. There it is, over by Clay. We showed you that earlier. Henry Hudson at 232, the Deegan at 230th, and there's the Cross Bronx again over by the Major Deegan, which is a little bit lighter because of the issues at the George. So let's head out to Queens now. We'll check out the vibe this morning. And I know I'm running a few minutes behind here with weather, but just want to get these cameras in. So there's the belt at 158. BQE in the center there by Broadway. That does not look bad at all. A little heavy heading north, actually. Let's look for that. Grand Central at 188. Pretty busy in both directions up by St. John's. Jackie Robinson at Forest Park Drive. That looks good. There's the approach to the Midtown Tunnel, pushing about 25 minutes. And there is the LIE out by Queens Boulevard. Just a heavy congested ride in either direction, but that's west that comes towards us. The ramp to the westbound BQE here this morning, and that looks pretty good, but the BQE ramp is busy. The Van Wyck at the interchange is a solid ride. Then the Van Wyck over by Hillside Avenue, that northbound is just slammed, getting all the way up in towards Kew Gardens. And this is a quick check of our Brooklyn traffic this morning. Couple on the belt for you first at Bay 8th Street. Look at that marine layer, that fog kind of hanging around the Verrazano, coming off of the water at Bay 8th. Even a little bit of light fog across the Mill Basin Bridge. This is the belt at Flatbush. It's more hazy kind of conditions. Already 70 here in the traffic center. Hamilton Avenue, that's off the Gowanus into the Trench. There's the BQE over by Adams Street by the Brooklyn Bridge. That doesn't look bad. There's the ride in the Trench. That's inbound heading away. Here at Atlantic Avenue is buried in traffic, getting up and onto the Promenade. And then this is over by Metropolitan Avenue on the left. Southbound is coming towards us. Out to the Williamsburg is busy. And this, the inbound Gowanus through Industry City at 37th. And again, at the Prospect is just absolutely hammered. So just kind of normal traffic there. A little snapshot, kind of whip around the entire tri-state area, the 5 boroughs, I should say. So with that said, let's take a quick check on the weather. This is from my friend Jon Rocco. Again, he'll be back to giving us the weather reports here after he gets things set up for his studies over at Rutgers University, doing some summer classes with Johnny. Bring the summer oil there at Rutgers Piscataway. So definitely Johnny is going to be a very busy guy this summer. So we thank him for the forecast and anything he can do for us. Follow him on Twitter at Jon Rocco, JONROCCOWX, for the latest forecast after we get off the air in about 45 minutes time. So, all right. So again, that potential for that spot storm, I think, is probably pretty much past at this point. We saw the radar earlier this morning, and that looks like that has now kind of dissipated. It was really down towards South Jersey. It was really any kind of a threat of any kind of a shower. And you know what? We'll put this radar back into the maps this morning. So it was right down in here in southern Jersey along the Delaware Bay, and maybe a pop-up shower here coming across the Parkway now as you head south of the Toms River area. So just be careful there. Bring along the light umbrella, but most of the rest of the tri-state, Long Island, Connecticut, Hudson Valley, North Central Jersey, we are in the clear. Let's head back to John's forecast here this morning. So we'll take a look at some of these temperatures early on a Monday morning. So temps starting to steam up now into the lower 70s for the most part. AC, Lakewood now, and Trenton at 70, getting closer to 68 up in Sussex County this morning. Let's go to the 5 boroughs now. Again, temps are slowly heating up into the lower 70s, 71, 70, and 70 there in Morris Park. We continue over to the island, getting closer to 70 as well. In Islip and Shirley at 71, Port Jeff coming in at 71. Again, the temperatures on the left are what John was forecasting for the 7 o'clock hour. Now we're into the 8 o'clock hour. A little bit cooler up towards Middletown, 68. Patterson at 66, a little warmer there in Yonkers at 70. And then coming in towards Western Connecticut now, getting into the mid to upper 60s to lower 70s pretty much across the board. So here's John's forecast for today. Some potential storms. Again, we saw to the south, a pop-up shower there now coming through Toms River. But looking at a high of around 88 in Cherry Hill, 86 in Trenton, 87 in Freehold, a little cooler in Cape May at 78, 83 in Islip, and 84 in New Haven. Here's John's weather threats for the rest of the week. Bonk. Wow. Hello. For the rest of the week, potentially some more morning showers tomorrow morning. And I was going to leave the Cadillac on car cover off tonight after going to the car show. If I do that, well, we'll have to see. Because I need to use the car tomorrow. So Wednesday, nothing there. A few showers possible on Thursday, and a few showers are possible on Friday. I'm going to give you the 7-day forecast now, because again, we have Jen Schuck from New York Waterway coming up at 8:30. So just in the chance we do not get to the forecast one more time for Johnny, but maybe we can squeeze in just the 7-day here during that half hour. So 86 degrees today, 81 tomorrow, 82 looks like the pick of the week on Wednesday, 80 for some chance of showers there on Thursday, and 88 on Friday. But then look at that. As of now, setting up the potential for a good looking weekend at 80 and 79 degrees for Dad's Day on a Sunday. And we want to thank John, who's the president of the Rutgers Weather Watchers Club, for the forecast. All right, we have to talk to you about some ice cream here from my friend Mr. Ralph Koppelman over in beautiful Cranford, New Jersey at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. And you can see some of the great offerings that he has here in the dipping case. You can find more information on his website, social media pages, Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery.com. Just has some awesome flavors to talk to you about. Cookie Monster, M&M Explosion, coffee, just absolutely delicious stuff. Has the core staples, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, vanilla bean. His ice cream is just absolutely fantastic. Again, some of the best ice cream anywhere to be found. He also makes these great treats here. We have the Chipwiches. We also have the flying saucers, that pillowy, soft vanilla and chocolate ice cream. Oh, delicious! Because I'm getting hungry. That's the problem. I need to eat before we get involved in the show. But again, these are great for summertime treats, birthdays. We got a lot of graduations. So obviously, I mentioned Father's Day coming up on the 19th. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. We also have these wonderful cakes that he makes, again, for birthdays, graduations, for any type of an occasion. We have the small that feeds about, 4 to 8 people or so, all the way up to 40 people for a large sheet cake. And he can make any of these cakes with any of those cakes that are in the case that he has available. The hard ice cream takes a little longer because sometimes the hard ice cream takes a little longer to set up in a cake, cake form. But he certainly can do that, but you just have to give him a little more lead time there for the hard ice cream for your graduation or anniversary or birthday or whatever you have. But most of these cakes are usually that pillowy, soft vanilla and chocolate ice cream. Ooh, so good. So we're getting hungry here in the traffic center. Again, you want to find Ralph at 22 North Avenue. I have to go over and get some more pictures of Ralph's shop. Get a shot of what I really want to do is shoot a commercial over there, but just right now, obviously now with the summertime weather, it's just absolutely getting bananas for my Ralph. So here is the shop. Let me bring this again. I'm playing master control, and we're all over the map here, literally. So let's see. We got to close out of this. There it is. So again, he's located on 22 North Avenue West, or Route 28. For those who are outside the New Jersey area, that's what it's going to come up as a state highway. 908-272-3000 is his phone number. He's open 12:30 to 9:30 Monday through Thursday, and until 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. as well as 9 o'clock on Sunday. And there is the shop here. That's his colors, the purple and white. I should see if I can get a hat or something from Ralph to put on the set. Good idea, Smith. Thinking of that now, only a month into the show, right? So we're still kind of half asleep here in the weather center, but nonetheless, head out for any and the best ice cream here anywhere to be found, I should say, here in beautiful Cranford, New Jersey. Again, 908-272-3000 is the phone number. We thank him for sponsoring the Tri-State Traffic Show. All right, so with that said, 5 minutes here till we talk to Jennifer Schuck from the York Waterway. I see that she is in the green room right now, so we will just hit up on a couple of hot spots here before we talk to Jen. It's this Garden State Parkway. Let me see if the DOT has put up anything. So it's the George Washington Bridge upper level. So now we're saying two accidents here on the upper level. Interesting. Let's just go back to the travel times now that we're talking about that. Let's just see what that is impacting traffic. I would say it's probably getting closer to the hour mark for the upper. Now 45 for the upper. So it's slightly lighter. I mean, just ever so slightly. At the George Washington Bridge, we'll probably put it at 45 to an hour now for both the upper and lower, 35 for the Lincoln, and closer to 40 at the Holland. And certainly today would be a very good day to be taking New York Waterway into the city. Let's go 280. They're also saying something's going on here out by Laurel Avenue. So again, I digress here very quickly for the fourth time in the show. It's southbound on the Parkway. That is crowded here, getting into Union through the long-term construction. Again, there is something going on. Still haven't gotten any clarification from the Turnpike Authority, but it is just busy. So give yourself about another 15, 20 minutes there. Now, west on 280, west on 280, they're saying there's vehicle fire. Where is this? Out by Laurel Avenue. I know there's a camera here, so we'll check that out here in just a moment. So let's bring up that camera here this morning. Let's just see what we see. I'll see you when I see you. Still no one has told me where that's from. I know where it's from, but I'm trying to get somebody to tell me. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Camera's looking east, but is the camera on the eastbound side? I believe it is. So see where this is. So at Laurel, so this has to be westbound moving away. So that is the crash or the vehicle fire in question here at 827. It's on the very, very far right. It's right in here. I know it's a little tough to see. Let's just blow this camera up real quick because this will be the last thing before we get to Jen here this morning. There is the smoke. Actually, yes, my good friends at DOT. Look at that right in here. So this is in the West Orange, between West Orange and Livingston. So that's westbound 280 as you come into Laurel Avenue and exit 6. So, yeah, hopefully everyone's out of that vehicle and, no one's injured. That's the most important thing. But we are definitely seeing a heavy ride there because of this issue here this morning. And now we're getting another crash on 22. New Jersey is just jumping here this morning. Can people just play nicely on the roads? I don't know. All right. So then, you know what? This may be part of the reason why this Parkway issue is as bad as it is, getting from Clark 135 into the long-term construction. Not really. I don't think so, because this westbound, that's a new thing. That just happened here as we head west in the Blois Street out by the ShopRite at Hillside. So, that has traffic all banged up back towards Broad Street in Hillside. So be careful there. You're better off staying with 78 if you're coming out of Newark this morning. Again, that just literally happened here. What's the time stamp on that? That is 2 minutes ago. So yeah, so that's going to be a heavy ride. Let me just do a quick check here this morning of the George Washington Bridge. I get about 45 there. Same thing at the Holland Tunnel is really starting to load up, getting closer to the 45-minute mark. And roughly about 35 or so at the Lincoln Tunnel. All righty. So this is what we're going to do. We're coming up now 8:30 this morning. Let me put my camera back on here this morning, and we'll do that. We'll play some music here. Again, I'm doing master control and everything under the sun here in my own living room. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Coming up to 8:30 here this morning. Let me just switch the banners here. Again, this half hour now sponsored by Travels with Darley. Want to watch her on PBS Great, Amazon Prime, Wonderum, and also on Ovation TV's Journey. So we thank Darley Newman for sponsoring this 8:30 half hour, and it is exactly 8:30. I see Jen is there in the green room. Let's add her to the stream. Hey, Jen, how are you? Good morning.
Hey, Don, how are you? It's great to see you.
It is very good to see you. I haven't seen you in quite some time. I know we did plenty of interviews over the years, and it's always good to see you and hear what's going on with New York Waterway. So I want to start off. Let's talk about water. Let me just set this up this way. There we go. I think it's a little bit, no, we'll go back this way. I think it's better. Let's talk about New York Waterway in general. You know, there's probably a lot who don't know anything about New York Waterway. They probably know where it goes, kind of runs, but have never even taken one of the boats there. Let's just talk a little bit of the history of New York Waterway to start things off.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. First of all, now I'm in the mood for ice cream, by the way. From you were talking about ice cream before.
Totally,
now I know what I'm having for lunch. But anyway, New York Waterway, once again, is the largest privately owned commuter ferry service in the country. We are going on 36 years as operating in the Hudson River. And people do know about the ferry, but I don't think people sometimes realize where the ferry does go and how much you can access from the ferry. We have landings or terminals in Edgewater, New Jersey. We have our main terminal, which is Port Imperial in Weehawken. We also have Lincoln Harbor in Weehawken, which is right by the Sheridan Lincoln Harbor, Hoboken 14th Street, as well as we run out of the New Jersey Transit Rail Ferry Terminal, which is many know as like the Lackawanna Terminal, that really historic building in Hoboken. And we have some routes in Jersey City as well. We have Paulus Hook and Port Liberté, and also down at Belford Middletown. And these go to the West 39th Street Ferry Terminal, that's in Midtown, Brookfield Place, Battery Park City, which is also known as World Financial Center, and Pier 11 Wall Street. So also, should I mention, at the West 39th Street Terminal, we have multi-route shuttle buses that you get free with your ferry ticket. So it's not like when you go to Midtown, we just kind of drop you off and leave you there. You know, if you want to walk, you can walk, or you could take one of our free shuttle buses that come with your ticket. We have multi-route buses that go through Midtown and one that goes downtown. Brookfield and Pier 11 do not have them because most of the stuff is walkable from there. There's really no place to put a bus in there anyway, but it's pretty walkable in that area. Not that Midtown isn't, but stuff in downtown is like really like right there. But so we run 7 days a week. The only day we do not run is Christmas Day. And the ferry is a great way to get into New York City, no matter what you're doing, whether you're going for a meeting, whether you're going to your office, for leisure. And it adds to your day. It's the calm before the storm. It's the breath of fresh air at the end of the day. You know, you're going to get to, there's no traffic on the water. So, you know, it's going to be, whatever it is, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or the 45 minutes up from Belford Middletown, you're going to get there in that amount of time. So it's great for anybody, really, the commuters, people that are just coming into the city for leisure, and it just adds to your experience. And people, once they take it, they're like, "Why didn't I take this? Why didn't I take this before? What was I thinking?" Yeah,
exactly. And it's just amazing to even think, before 1986, you almost can't even imagine not having ferry service across the Hudson River. I was too young to kind of remember that myself, but just to try to think of a time when there wasn't ferry. How many passengers it takes on a daily basis, how many people rely on Waterway to get them across the Hudson into their office, or if they're heading into Midtown or some of the other locations you mentioned at a quick pace. We just talked about the George Washington Bridge, almost an hour, 45 to an hour, and the Lincoln is about 45. So, why sit and burn up $5 a gallon gas, right? When you can just kind of park the car there or take the train and just get off in Hoboken and just walk over to the ferry terminals.
Exactly. And as you mentioned, we're connected to a lot of other mass transit systems, and we do partner with NJ Transit and a lot of the other mass transit agencies as well. So the ferries connect with NJ Transit trains at the New Jersey Transit Hoboken Rail Ferry Terminal in Hoboken. We also connect with the Hudson Bergen Light Rail system as well. So many of the stops from Port Imperial all the way down into Jersey City, you can access the ferry stops from those as well, and also the bus lines along the Gold Coast in New Jersey, down through Edgewater, Fort Lee, Edgewater, coming down to into Weehawken. We connect with them as well. So I'm going to suggest that people look for the Hudson Go Pass, which we have a discount ticket program with NJ Transit. So you can look that up, Hudson Go Pass. Also, and once we get into the city, we're really close to the 7 train. And so a lot of people do take the ferry to the Mets games. They get off. It's like kind of like when you get off at West 39th Street and you see the Javits Center is across the street. The Javits Center.
Right.
When you're going to a trade show, you definitely want to take the ferry because you get off right there.
Sure, yeah.
So you go to the right, you go down to the next block. There is the High Line. So the High Line's right there. You go up a little bit. There's Hudson Yards. There's the 7 train. So also, though, our buses will take you to Penn Station, Grand Central Station, Moynihan Station. So all our buses go right by these other mass transit facilities where you can connect. A lot of people take, the ferry to the air train at a Moynihan station. So it's really about connectivity too, that I don't think a lot of people realize, that we are connected with a lot of the other mass transit agencies. So obviously separate tickets with most of them, but if it's so much easier than being on the roads, as you said, with the gas. It's more accessible. You can be on your phone. You can have a nice conversation with someone you're traveling with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely, it's a much better commute. And back in the early 20th century, they used to have ferries going back and forth, and it was quite interesting for the owner of New York Waterway, because he created it thinking about his childhood down on the waterfront. And they stopped the ferries when the bridges and tunnels opened. But then everyone started getting cars, so
right.
it got to be, got to be a little crowded on the road. So he decided to start the ferries again. And believe it or not, just yesterday I was rewatching our 30th anniversary video that we had made, and him explaining it and why he did it, and how the ferry, Weehawken is closer to Midtown Manhattan than a lot of places in New York City itself. So it's closer than Queens and, Brooklyn and all. You're closer when you're on this side to get to like a lot of the, commercial districts than if you're in New York City itself.
Right. And, I've taken the ferry many times going to the auto show, which is, so convenient, especially with the bus. That'll drop you off just not too far from the ferry stop there, getting out to the Javits Center, as you mentioned before. And then you can walk it too. I think it's just kind of weather depending, if it's raining or something, sure, you want to get on the bus, but if it's a nice day, it's not too far of a walk, coming up from the ferry stop. And also, you guys run a lot of specials as well. You include part of the ticket for New York, the auto show, usually in April, March, and it's right around Easter egg, and it's just really whenever Easter falls in the calendar.
We had a joint ticket with them. We also do a lot of discounts with some of the shows that at the Javits Center as well. So sometimes, like we just went to the cannabis trade show, we just had a discount ticket with them. So a lot of times the motorcycle show, we do some stuff with them as well. So a lot of the shows at the Javits Center, we do auto shows you're talking about, we do a joint ticket with that we sell together. A lot of them we just partner with, and we do discount tickets with them as well. So yes, it's true. And it's so convenient to get to the Javits Center. One thing I didn't mention with the connectivity is the bicycles. You can take a bicycle to the ferry. All the ferry stops have, bike racks. If you want to take your bicycle on the ferries can handle the bicycles. The tickets are just $1 to take your bicycle on the ferry.
Sure.
And so also we're actually part of a bike run or we have the Hudson Loop coming up in 2 weeks on the 24th. We are doing with Hudson County Tourism. and Bike JC, and that starts at 7:30. You have to pre-register, but it's called the Hudson Loop. And they do a bike run. So they take the Paulus Hook Ferry to Brookfield. They go up to Midtown. They and it's at night, and the bikes are all like like really tricked out with like a lot of lights and stuff.
Sure,
it's really
yeah, very cool.
And they go across on the Midtown boat, and then they come back down. So I forgot to mention the bikes as well, because everything there's so much you can access through the ferry, and the connectivity is really amazing. And yeah, I mean, it's and each route offers everyone something different. So it's really just a great opportunity for people to travel.
Oh yeah, and also, just for some who may not have ever been on a boat. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some, regardless of any kind of a boat or whatever. It's just a nice ride. The view that you get, you can't really put a price tag on it, really. For what you're paying for the ferry fare. But I mean, if it's a beautiful day and whatnot, it's really just a nice ride going across the Hudson River, or you just take it further around,
It's so true, Don. Like in the age of Instagram and TikTok and, Twitter and all this social media, like you will be the envy of everybody if your commute is on the water, because, you're traveling across. Trust me when I say it never, ever gets old. It's just breathtaking to see the city from the water, and New Jersey as well, because we have to give a shout out to the New Jersey waterfront also. I mean, the skyline in Jersey City and Hoboken, then even the cliffs in Weehawken and along the way too. It's really just magnificent, as well as seeing the city, New York City, obviously from the water. Right. And it just really, it just really never gets old. It just doesn't. And actually, as you mentioned, a lot of people do take their first boat ride on New York Waterway, because, it's not a big commitment. Like when you're taking Weehawken to Midtown, it's only an 8-minute trip. It's really short. I mean, Paulus Hook to Brookfield is a 6-minute trip.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of the trips from Port Imperial are only probably 25 minutes, maybe. If you're coming up from Belford Middletown, that's a little longer. That's 45 up to Midtown. But, they're short trips, so they're manageable if you're just nervous about going on the water for the first time. So it's a great opportunity. We have taken some school groups on their first trips, which is a lot of fun, and it's something very memorable for the children,
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of kids,
yes.
We are once again bringing back our Kids Ride Free for the summer program.
Oh, very good.
That starts, and it's been very popular. That starts July 5th and runs through. So right after the 4th of July, July 5th, it runs through Labor Day. We have kids under 12 ride free for the summer. So, bring your family. It's a great opportunity for families to, come and take their kids and, just do a family trip into New York City,
Sure.
and there's lots going on there. So, it's a wonderful time of year to be there.
Yeah, and you can take your kids out, to the New Jersey waterfront, the parks, that kind of a thing, and then get on the ferry and just go across the water and just enjoy the day and just get the wind in your hair, right? As you head up to the upper level of the boat. Now, speaking of the boats, how many boats does New York Waterway have?
We have we have close to 40 now, because we have some coming into service. We have the Franklin Delano Roosevelt is just going into service. It's actually you saw that down at Yank Marine with me. I had met down at Yank Marine in Tuckahoe, where it was built. Right. That is going into service in 2 weeks. It will be we are operating tours for a tour company called Big City Tours. So they're going to be running harbor tours that we're going to be operating the boats for, and the cruise and all that. So that's coming up probably around 4th of July weekend, which should be great. We're looking forward to partnering with them. The Arthur E. Imperator is going to be coming up from the shipyard soon. That is the FDR's sister vessel. So these are very large boats, very large. They're like over 500 passengers vessels, and they're spectacular.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Like you said, I did that interview with you a couple of years back down in Western Cape May County. For me, it was very interesting to see how these boats are made. First of all, just the attention to detail for the safety aspect of it all to start. There's so many safety measures that are on these boats that make them extremely safe to go to get into the water and then, go across the Hudson River. But again, it just the level of detail and just the level of amenities that are on these boats now, just either from plugging in your cell phone and have the restrooms and have, refreshments being offered and so forth. And the other thing too was that I just I don't know, just interesting to see that it was all the way down to Cape May, that you're building these boats and having to bring them all the way up into the tri-state area, which I thought was fascinating. That whole shipyard, I probably could have been there hours just to do a story about just how they build boats, get into the nuts and bolts of stuff. I found that really fascinating. So that's great news that's just coming online here in the next couple of weeks. And you were mentioning 4th of July. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about this big 4th of July cruise. Everyone wants to hear that. What's happening, Jen? What do we got going on for 4th of July?
So really, there's no better fireworks display than the Macy's fireworks. And, and there's no better place to see it from the water. It's just, you need to put this on your bucket list if you haven't thought about it yet. It's absolutely like just a spectacular event. And each year we do fireworks cruises that leave from Port Imperial and Weehawken. There's 2 different departure times. One's at 6:45, one's at 7 p.m. And they leave Port Imperial. They go up obviously down to the statue. So when you really get a great, really patriotic experience when you're going on these firework cruises, because you're passing the Freedom Tower, which is 776 feet tall. Then you're passing the, obviously Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. And then you're turning, you're going up into the East River, right. And you're just passing historic New York itself. And you're seeing Governor's Island, and just going right up into the East River under the Brooklyn Bridge, which is just such a spectacular thing. And the Hudson River itself, I mean, many people probably don't even realize that it was an important part of the start of the country, of its history, the Revolutionary War and just the commerce. And, when you're on these, you're just really surrounded by history, really, So you come up into the East River. Our captains get very close, not too close, you know what I mean? But they like to get in the front row.
Sure, yeah.
And you're out there in the water, and it's just like one big party, like boats of all sizes, big boats, small boats, and you're just looking around. There's party boats with music blaring, and it's just a festive atmosphere. It's nice and beautiful, cool out there. The boat's rocking. We have a DJ on board. We have a cash bar that has food and beverages. There is alcohol, soda. So it's just a great time. I mean, I've taken it, and it is so fun. I highly recommend it. When you're out in the water, you see the fireworks coming off of the Empire State Building. Then right in front of you, you see the bar, the firework barges, shooting all the fireworks up, and they have the floating, the ones that are lower that, come up on the displays that are lower into the water. So it's really something that you have to experience at least once, or multiple times, or just make like a tradition of it with your family. And it's really fun for all ages. As you said, the bathrooms the boats have bathrooms on them. The FDR is one of the boats that is going to be going out on that. So you have a brand new boat. The deck is really, really wide. And great for dancing if you want to dance on the boat, or just relax and look around. It's just a lot of fun. The captains will stop by the Statue of Liberty so you can get some photographs of the statue, your family, yourself, selfies with Lady Liberty. And it's just really a great way to celebrate the 4th of July, and lots of music and just lots of fun. It's lots of fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a different experience, even if you've gone to the 4th of July fireworks and you've sat along the FDR Drive, and this is just another different way to get that experience, and being out on the water, where many people may have never even either thought about doing that, or have always said standing on the FDR Drive looking out going, wow, that would be interesting to be out on the water to see what the fireworks look like. This is the perfect opportunity to do it. I mean, I don't know what other better way to look at the fireworks, from the water, really. I mean, you just we're literally right in the middle of the action, and then, like you said, you have the refreshments, you've got the restrooms if you need them, and you get all these Instagrammable moments, TikTok or whatever, from the top of the boat, which just makes for some just amazing photography. So
Absolutely. And it's funny because our captains pride themselves on getting up front. So that's their thing, it's like they want to be up front so that our passengers get the best view that they can possibly can, because it's really fun for us. I mean, it's I've taken the a boat, the public boat a few times, and it's just so much fun. It's just festive. You meet people literally from all over the world on these boats. I mean, it's amazing when you come on and there's obviously people from, the New York, New Jersey area, but there's also people from out of state, and there's also people from different countries. And it's amazing when you talk to people from different countries. They literally come here to celebrate the 4th of July. And it's amazing. It's in the, and they're just so in awe of everything. And actually, it's really inspiring, and it makes you feel lucky and very special that you are part of this great country, and people are coming here to celebrate with you from other countries as well.
Yeah, it's almost it literally is like a mini cruise. Sometimes if I've gone on many tours, over the years, vacation tours and stuff like that, and that's some of the, really almost like a big part of the reason why you go on some of these, because you meet all these people from all around the world that you would never have met had you not gone on this tour. And, and you're with them for, obviously those kind of things are a lot longer than what the cruise is going to be, but still, nonetheless, it's the same kind of experience. You like you said, you're meeting people from all around the world, even from just this area that, who knows? It's just a small world to begin with. You always seem like you run into somebody that on an event like this. And like you said, everybody around the world comes to celebrate the 4th of July. That's
and honestly, like a lot of times before I started working, for Waterway and going on these fireworks, I'd like to see my local hometown fireworks. And it's great to see everyone from your hometown and, get together on that day. But then it was really interesting once to get out there and seeing what other people think about the celebrations. And it's really a lot of fun. And I have to mention too, that our terminals, Port Imperial, the West 39th Street Ferry Terminal have a lot of amenities as well. So when you come and you wait, you want to get there a little early, obviously. There is a restaurant inside Port Imperial. We have a brand new concession stand that's just been built. We had one before, but they just really updated. It looks fantastic. We have bathrooms there. The West 39th Street Ferry Terminal has a bar inside. It has, a newsstand inside with snacks and water and stuff, and bathrooms as well, and lots of places to sit in there. And most of our terminals do have amenities. So, Brookfield Place has amenities. We're all, Pier 11. Belford, Middletown. So when you're coming to, whether you're taking the ferry for the 4th of July or you're coming to it just to take it for work or leisure, the terminals themselves are actually, they're very nice. They're very nice. Yeah. They're clean. And it's just, it's a great way to travel. If you're coming over from New York City, for the fireworks, we do leave from Port Imperial. You can use your firework ticket as a free ticket to get over from Midtown to Port Imperial, and I should mention that.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, and I'm just running Jen through some of the pictures here from last year, or
that's last year's boat. That's last year's
boat. Yeah, some of the great.
You can see all the people on the bow of the boat.
Sure. Yeah, and again, it gives a good indicate. Really shows you how close you get. And some of the great photography you can get. I mean, those are just amazing pictures. I mean, really, that's just unbelievable. The photographs you can get, and just how close how close you are, I
mean, and even with photographs, they don't even do it as much. These are great, but they don't even do it as much justice when you see it right in front of you.
Absolutely. And hearing the sounds, the explosions, and it really is just, it just lights up the night sky. I mean, you can see, look at the water. It almost looks like daytime there on the East River. And this is some of these great pictures that you took.
And what's really fun is that when you're driving back, that's the Empire State Building. When that went off,
right,
like, whoa. But when you're going back to, a lot of times you just catch other. That's how close we get. Like that's what you're going to see. And obviously, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's really just fun to be out there with all those other boats. It's like
no question
floating
about that.
Party, and you're waving to each other and stuff like that. And, but yeah, and then when you're coming back, a lot of times too, you get some bonuses of seeing other people's, like the Jersey City fireworks.
I was very saying,
they do a big display and stuff like that.
Sure, you're really close to it. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. These pictures are great, Jen. Did you take these?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Isn't
Good,
that a great
good.
photographer?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is your phone or regular camera, but these pictures are really good. You should frame some
Thanks.
of
There's
these or
a
something.
regular
And
camera.
put
Yeah.
put them in the
But you can see
put
a
them in
lot
the
of
terminal.
my daughter took a lot on the iPhone that came out really, really well too.
Wow, that's a good one too. Look at that.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a really,
that
really
was a
good
fun. That
one.
actually might have been no, that was last year. Might have been the year before, but
Okay.
it's still all the same.
All the same, right? It's fireworks. Everybody loves the fireworks. I'm going to throw up a picture here, Jen, of the FDR. That is the 2 weeks. That's the boat that we had mentioned before that I came down watching it being built, and really an extraordinary boat. Really, I mean, just all the latest state of the art stuff, and for comfort and for safety, obviously that's first and foremost. But just how many does this hold, Jen? You said about
500.
500.
And like the back upper deck is like humongous.
See if I got a picture.
But
of the
they're
upper
not
deck
when
here.
we're talking about,
That's
look
the
at how
upper
big that
level
is.
there.
But we're not when we're talking about like how big the boats are for the 4th of July, they're not selling them out on the 4th of July. So
Okay.
so this will hold like, over 500 or so. They're only selling about 300 tickets for this boat.
Okay. So
And then the other smaller boat, they're only selling like maybe 175 because they're not going to capacity. They want to do about half capacity so people have room to enjoy themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is like, look, this is like this was actually at Yank this one.
I was gonna say the background looks familiar. I do
You
remember
might
that.
have been
Yeah.
the day we met, and I'm so quite sure. I mean,
Yeah,
went down
yeah,
there.
And then this is the inside, right? These are these really nice seats that you're able to sit inside if
Oh
you
my
so
God,
desire.
the seats inside are so comfortable. They are really comfortable. And
Yeah.
the outside, I just love the upper deck. I mean, I remember when I saw it even before it was finished, and I walked up and like my jaw dropped when I saw the upper
Right.
deck. I'm like, oh
Right.
my gosh. And it does have like a covered portion of it where where they have a bar. And so there you go right there. There's a covered portion of it too. So it's just really, it's a beautiful vessel. It's a beautiful vessel. And so is the Arthur E. Imperator that's coming up. So we're really excited about that. That should be going to service probably at the end of the summer,
Very nice.
so it'll be, it's nice after this last 2 years to have a lot of forward momentum.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Now again, Jen, you've been there a long time, so maybe you'll eventually get a boat named after you. I don't know.
Right?
That'll be so much fun,
the
right?
fairy godmother. That's what they call me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Very good. Now, with the seats here, Jen, they have power places you can charge your phone and stuff, because I'm sure that's probably something you get for.
Yes, that's something that they thought about. Yes, because that's like inside, because that's like something that people want now. And
Sure, yeah.
Depending on where the boat's going, it gets shore, so that'll be a little bit longer. But yeah, it's you got to follow the way everything's
Way the
going,
world
right?
is,
So
right, yeah.
comfortable, like
Sure.
just different amenities. Why we have free Wi-Fi. So
that's key too. Now, see, that's
it's
key
just a
too,
great way to
because
travel.
yeah, I mean, you may even get some folks go ahead and try and do some live streaming or something from the 4th of July, on top of the boat. I mean,
Yeah,
I was mentioning
absolutely.
earlier in the show, I mean, there's a bunch of these folks that I sit here and watch. Like yesterday, I ended up watching this guy walking around Disney World. Gotta get
Did you
there at
watch him
Disney
the whole
World in
time?
Florida. I'm sorry?
He was walking around Disney live streaming?
Yes. Yeah. That's what they do. I don't know if that's like their full-time job or what, but they do it a couple times during the week, and then they're there for like 8-10 hours at a time, and they're live streaming the entire time. They take you on like every ride and whatever park they're doing or wherever. As crazy as it sounds, you just leave it on in the background kind of a thing. And
like people, that's like real reality TV.
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Sure. No, yeah, totally. And they even had some people coming up saying, I don't want to be in the live stream and this, that. And he's kind of like, well, it's a public place or whatever, but you divert and get away from those folks who don't want to be on. I get it. Some people don't want to be on camera, but again, just watching this in real time is, the ultimate thing. So maybe some will be doing that with the 4th of July fireworks. I'm not sure, but since you have Wi-Fi, you've got the connectivity there.
That's true. I mean, we have had people do like a live stream, like on like Facebook or whatever, but just going across like, from one terminal to the next. But as an old day thing, I didn't realize that people did that. And that's actually very interesting.
It is.
I don't know if I want people to hear me at Disneyland live stream for 8 hours, though. I mean, people can get cranky.
Well, this is true. That's true. The kids get a little, anxious or whatever it is, what's going on. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like my daughter's older now. She's 14,
Yeah.
but when she was little, there was definitely some screaming tantrums.
I'm sure there were. I'm sure there was. But yeah, having that Wi-Fi is great because the cell service may not be that great once you're actually out on the water. You may get kind of a dead zone or whatnot, but the Wi-Fi certainly helps, getting some of those great pictures as we showed, for 4th of July. And it's just a great idea just to get out there and enjoy. Let me throw up the, let's just see, where's my banner here? I'm playing Master Control. Jen, you're a former TV anchor. You know what that is. So I got the wrong camera up there. So there we go. Let me just take this out here. I got 6 different things all going on at the same time. There we go. So you can go to the website here for e-tickets, NewYorkWaterway.com/July 4th. So you get the fireworks, some food, some drinks, and the DJ. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people dancing up on top of the FDR. And and the other boat is which one, Jen?
They didn't tell me which boat that the next boat, the other boat that they're putting out, but the FDR is definitely going to be on there. So,
right.
But the so what other boat you're going to be on? You're going to be having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is a lot of fun. We usually try and park near each other, like kind of,
sure.
And, so everyone can see one another and kind of wave and stuff. And it really is just a really, fantastic time. It's going to be a fun summer out on the water. So whether you come for the 4th of July or you're just going to go into, the city and enjoy the day or to work,
right.
We do, it's just an exciting time to be, in and around New York and even the New Jersey waterfront too. I mean, we don't, like I said, we don't give the New Jersey waterfront enough love because, I always say the ferry goes both ways so people coming from New York City, they might want to come over to Jersey City or to Hoboken to see the city from the other side and, or to Weehawken. We have some great restaurants over there as well. Some great hotels and, most of the, this isn't really for New York City people, but when you're coming from New Jersey into New York, we have parking garages or most of the terminals have parking garages or some kind of parking around them. So It's easier to park. And then again, for people coming over from New York, most stuff is walkable. You've been down there by, when you come to Port Imperial and Weehawken, you have restaurants right in front of the terminal, in the terminal, on the sides of the terminal. Beautiful scenery there. The Hoboken, same thing. You're coming right into the, heart of Hoboken and Jersey City as well. So it's, the ferry goes both ways and it's exciting in both directions, right?
Absolutely. No question about that. Another question for you, Jen. Do you have lockers at some of the stations? Let's say if somebody is it big enough to leave a bicycle or something? Like if somebody wanted to bring their bike to that and then take that on the ferry and then just didn't want to take it back on the train, let's say, and take that home. I mean, is there anything accommodating for that? I'm not sure.
We don't have lockers, but we do have, for the bikes, there are bike racks.
Okay.
Definitely outside of Port Imperial.
Sure.
We have bike racks there. There are city bikes. There are some at West 39th Street. There's city bikes at West 39th Street where you can take a city bike.
Sure.
But we don't have lockers inside the terminals. But it's definitely a place to park your bike.
Park your bike, yeah, because I would think that would probably be a pretty good way to do things, especially, I mean, granted, you probably should be walking. I know I'm going to lose a few here before the physical, but nonetheless, I mean, riding the bike, that's probably a great idea to, once you get to the Manhattan side and just shoot on up to wherever you're going to work or whatever you're going to do, just, to grab the bike and head across the water, which again makes for some great views. Now, for those who aren't familiar with how the ticketing works, this is you want not so much for the 4th of July, but I mean, can you still get paper tickets? And the only reason I asked that because a lot of places aren't even doing that anymore. They're using their app or whatnot. So kind of maybe walk us through the procedure for somebody who's a newbie at all this.
Well, we do encourage you to obviously download the free New York Waterway app. And also I should mention, not only do we have a ticket app and you do get a lot of information off of that, but we also have a free bus app where you can track the buses in the city. So you can see in real time. So, if it's raining or, it's cold out or, you want to give yourself some extra time and wherever you are, you can see when the bus is coming, so, and then just kind of run out when, it is getting there. But we do encourage the digital ticketing. However, we do have paper tickets as well. We do have the traditional ticket machines and we do have ticket agents at at pretty much almost all the terminals, maybe some of the landings. The landings don't have ticket agents. I know Edgewater doesn't, or Lincoln Harbor doesn't, but and Hoboken 14th Street doesn't, but they all have some kind of ticketing system, like, but we encourage you to download the app and buy it that way.
Right.
But we do have the paper tickets. Yes. You can buy tickets at the West 39th Street Ferry Terminal. You can buy tickets at Brookfield. You can buy tickets at Port Imperial. You can buy tickets in Belford. Yeah. You could absolutely get paper tickets.
Okay, good. I have the website up as you can see there. So just kind of running through some things. On average, to say between New York and New Jersey and Manhattan, what's the average turnover? You said 6-7 minutes or whatever, but the schedule is kind of what, every 10 minutes?
Oh, okay. It's every
like
so it's usually about, it depends on the route, it depends on the time of day. Midtown pretty much is every 20 minutes, but pre-pandemic we used to do 10 minutes. But and people are, we got a lot of passengers asking when we're going to go back to every 10, but the demand has to be there. I mean, I know there's a lot, but it has to, obviously be there. And it depends on, the time of day. It depends on the route. So I really just encourage, people to like look over the schedule. Some of them are 20 minutes, some of them are 15, some of them are 6, some of them are combined to, you know what I mean? So it's it just varies a lot.
Yeah, so you kind of you plan it out, and obviously the shorter runs will be obviously less, more frequent in between the times that you're going to be going across the Hudson River and so forth. Again, there's the app there. You can download it on Apple and Android devices, and that'll just take you to the app and give you all the information as well. So again, there's some of it's kind of nice picturesque view there, Jen, of what you can kind of see from one of the boats. And
it's like, really, there's nothing like, seeing, it's nothing like being on the water. I mean, every single time. I've been doing this 8 years, and it seriously never gets old. It's something that never, ever gets old. And, it's, people say that a lot of times I talk to people, they say the ferry is a gift to themselves. Like, that's what they give them as themselves as a gift. Because it's that important to them.
Sure.
So, once sometimes we cross on her NJ Transit or the path, and people are like, wow, I feel like I'm on a vacation. It just gives that vacation vibe to it. Even if you're working every day, it just gives that vacation vibe. Like, it gives you something, a little extra. And we save people a lot of time on the we take a lot of cars off the roads. We save people a lot of time being on the roads. It's really just a great way to travel. And I'm saying this as like a former ferry rider. Before I worked for the ferry, I was a ferry rider. Right. So, that's why for me, it's easy just to encourage people to do it, because that's what I did.
Yeah, no, like it's like, first of all, just in the convenience of it all is the first thing. Second of all, as gas prices keep going through the roof, instead of sitting at the bridges and tunnels and just burning it off inside the tunnel, you're probably going to burn almost a gallon of gas sitting in an hour's worth of traffic, and then once you get to Midtown, then you got to figure out what do you do with the car, and then all this other stuff. And, eventually if the congestion pricing thing gets put into play, who knows if that'll go, but just a really convenient way, and you beat that traffic just going across the water with the tunnels and the bridges. And look at the great views that you get, right?
Totally. And it's a lot cheaper to park in New Jersey, to park your car.
Sure.
I remember I used to park in the city lot, and when I first came, when I used to work down in Chelsea, and I used to park my car, and then I went to Hoboken to park near the ferry, and the guy was like, I don't know what he said to me. I thought he said like, it was some guy gonna reach. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't even blink an eye. He's like, no. He's like, he was like, no, it's like whatever it was, like $20 or whatever it was. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, what did you just say? Like, is that cheap?
Right.
So it's a lot cheaper to park in New Jersey than it is to park in New York City, for sure, in the parking garages.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely not. No question about that. Jen, just something that kind of came to my mind as well, unfortunately, the circumstances where the New York Waterway is put into emergency services during 9/11,
right,
and so many heroic, stories coming out of that, and so many of your captains, your deckhands, everybody from New York Waterway just really facilitated, with 9/11, also with the plane in the Hudson with Captain Sully, just amazing stories that come from New York Waterway, from that unfortunately dark day in the history of this country, unfortunately, but so many heroes and just so many just amazing things that a lot of your folks did on that day.
Well, and I always say that it's ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Right.
It's really what it comes down to, and it's the different dynamics between 9/11 and Miracle on the Hudson. Like 9/11, it's just really even hard. 21 years later, almost 20 years later, for the captains and those who are involved to talk about. It's really just anybody, but it was really a hard time for them, but they did lead the charge. They had been through the 1993 bombing, so they knew right away that this isn't good, and they knew where to go and what to do. And that was a lot of part of their training. That was just part of the drive from our founder. That is like, we always answer the call. In addition to 9/11, we evacuated over, I think they said over 200,000 people. That's in 8 hours on our boats alone.
Wow.
And you talk to these captains, and they just kept going and going and going, and it was very it was a traumatic experience, but something that they were proud of themselves, that they were a part of. The greatest boat rescue in world history. So that's something, but it's just something it's still very hard for them, very raw with anybody who is involved with 9/11. But then you have Miracle on the Hudson, and that gave people really like a lot of hope, and it's a happy thing. And they talk about that with a lot of pride as well. If anybody actually ever knew how hard it was to do what they did that day, was to pull up to that 747 and not knock anybody off of those wings. You think about it. The first captain on scene that day was a 19-year-old woman. And she pulled up. They had to glide up to that plane, not cause any wake to knock them off. Then the deckhands, they had to hold that thing steady. And the Hudson River current was pushing you. Of course, you had a 747 coming at you, right? And the current pushing you, and you had to hold that steady so that the deckhands can get to Jason's cradle and get those people up on the boats. And they didn't lose anybody. I mean, it was just, I think everyone that day would just say that was absolute what a miracle looks like. I mean, and it's definitely training too, but I mean, so we got them up on the boats. There was also during a shift change. So the bus drivers, and I just say, even the bus drivers, we talk about the ferry captains, but when this whole thing went down, 9/11 and Miracle on the Hudson, it was the ferry crews, but it was also the office staff and the bus drivers and the mechanics and the people that clean the terminals and everyone just jumped on the boats, especially during 9/11. You had the top brass on the boats. You had everybody from the mechanics to like the welders helping out in both situations. The bus drivers were helping. Same thing with Miracle on the Hudson. When they were getting the people on the boats for Miracle on the Hudson back at the terminals, the office staff was gathering coats and heaters and their own jackets and uniforms and stuff to give these people because they were in the cold water. Sure. They also had bus drivers on the ferries because they were doing a shift change, and they were helping with that too as well. Mm-hmm. So it was like a company-wide effort. And if anybody ever knew like how hard everything really was, and I covered those as a news reporter. I covered 9/11, I covered Miracle on the Hudson. And when I see it from the other angle, I'm just like, wow, like this is really like just incredible. And it's, once again, ordinary people doing extraordinary things and stepping up, when and answering the call. And that's something that the captains do every day. I mean, we've pulled out, they're probably 250 people out of the water over the last, and that's including, whatever, Miracle on the Hudson, everything. No, I mean, I know it's in addition to Miracle on the Hudson. It was no, I think it's including. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get my facts straight. But we pulled well over 250 people out of the water. I mean, in terms of like, people that, helicopters go down, or,
Sure.
sailboats flip over, or party boats flip over, or, it's we're always out there. And it's really funny because, you see a lot of these, I'm on a lot of these Facebook pages for the other boat operators and stuff. And they're like, New York Waterway always gets the big rescues. They're like, good job, guys.
Yeah.
I think that was when we pulled some. I think a helicopter crashed like right by the seawall in the Hudson River, and we pulled the guy out.
Sure.
And even all the other boat operators are like, you guys get all the big rescues, because we're there. We're always there.
Yeah. It's going back and forth, and sometimes you're just the location. Really is kind of some of what it comes down to. But yeah, I just wanted to make a mention of that and the heroic efforts of everybody involved in those two big events that have happened over the last 20 plus years or so. Just I'm surprised that there hasn't been a documentary or something about Waterway itself and how they played out. I mean, maybe there is, and I'm just not aware of it. If anybody in the comments knows about it, certainly put it up there. But
there's a lot of like bits and pieces. I mean, another big one was the blackout of 2003. That was huge. When they had to carry people. Remember when lower, like it was like just like lower, well, the whole area, right? Like just went into like complete darkness.
Right.
And they were evacuated during the blackout as well. So that's just some of the ones that are coming off the top of my head. But you're right, there should be a documentary, because there's little, like, we did our 30th anniversary 10-minute video, but it was like there's all these like little bits and pieces of stuff out there. But the fact of like, it was almost like this little ferry that was so involved in so many different aspects of history in New York, and really just, rescues. And, after 9/11, it was the only way to get down to Lower Manhattan. And that was a big thing too. It was, the ferries out of like Hoboken, nobody would have been able to get to the world, to Wall Street. If it wasn't for the ferries.
And also with the roads too, the bridges and tunnels had the HOV restrictions in for the morning rush hour. You had to have 3 or more in the car in order to get into the tunnels. They were checking that. Port Authority police were checking that. So, that's why a lot of people used the ferries to get across the Hudson. But well, maybe we spark somebody to maybe do some kind of a documentary out there, which I think is well, certainly well needed. Let me ask you, Jen, here in the next couple of minutes before we wrap up, some of the other things you have going on for the summer. Any other big promotions or any other things you're involved in Waterway with for the summer months? Get the kids out and enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the big summer promotion for us is the Kids Ride Free for the summer program, and that's a very popular program. We have the tours coming up that we are, operating for Big City Tours. They're selling the tickets. We're operating the boats. Another great thing is we run the boats for Governor's Island. And if you haven't been to Governor's Island, you have to leave from the Battery Maritime building for that. But you can take one of the ferries, probably the Pier 11 ferry, then walk. I've done it.
That's something I've never done.
Governor's Island is just a magnificent place, and it's a great outing for people to see. It's just a great. It's really, they have a lot of programs out there. They just opened up a spa, so that's a great day trip for people. And once again, we have the tours, we have the Kids Ride Free. Oh, and IKEA Brooklyn. If you want a nice day out and go shopping,
just saw that
IKEA
come up.
Brooklyn offers. We call it the IKEA Ferry. It leaves it's only on Saturdays and Sundays, and it leaves from Pier 39 in the Midtown Terminal. I think the first boat out was like 10:30ish, and the last boat departs Brooklyn at 5:05. So it takes you down, stops at Pier 11, then goes to Red Hook, Brooklyn, and that ferry is sponsored by IKEA. And you can do, and they have a really great complex there. They have actually right in the water in front of them is like a waterfront park. Then the big complex, they have everything you possibly think of shopping wise. They have their famous Swedish meatballs and stuff like that. And you could shop. You can take your packages on the ferry, or you could just have them shipped home. So that's actually another really great outing as well.
Cool.
So
very cool.
there's lots of things to do, and plus New York City itself, we just it's just an amazing place, and we're happy to see people coming back. It's been a long 2 years, and so nice to see a lot of people coming out again.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you about can you bring your put it together bid frame onto the boat? I guess that's what they want, right? And you just load it up in the car when you get back to wherever you got, where you got on from. But I think it's a great idea for IKEA to sponsor that. Lots of fun, especially, and it's free too, so you get a nice boat ride.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. You're going right past this. It's really a wonderful day out for anybody. And if you love IKEA and you love shopping and you get to see New York City from the Red Hook, Brooklyn, it's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff happening out there. Plus the 4th of July boats, there's a lot of fun stuff happening out there. And I do hope to see people coming out and enjoying themselves more. And it's just nice.
It's good to see after the last couple of years of what everyone's gone through, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's definitely good to see you to get out and have some fun. So Jen, I'm gonna put you on the spot just a little bit. Nothing but Waterway now. Gonna go back to your news anchor days. Okay, so I got to do another thing on weather. So I'm gonna throw up the 7-day forecast here, Jen. So I'm gonna let you run with this. Let's see what you got.
Okay, so this is a big week for me coming up because my daughter's graduating 8th grade on Friday. So
congratulations.
It's going to be a lot going on. So Monday we have it looks like some scattered storms. I'm like, it's really small. So with this. Okay, so we had early showers this morning, which we did 86 degrees.
I'll put a full
tomorrow it's going to be some showers in the morning and scattered throughout the day, right? So that's 81. Oh, the best day is Wednesday. That's the day of I'm really excited. My niece and nephew's little clap out of school for 5th grade. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of after school activities for people out there. First half day of the summer. That's going to be great. Then we have some scattered showers again on Thursday, 80 degrees. Another great day to because another half day, right, in Jersey.
Yeah.
And then Friday, chances for storms, 88 degrees. I'm thinking, I'm hoping for that changes. So big graduation day.
Yeah. And then the weekend looks like it's shaping up pretty good, right? For Father's Day on Sunday.
I forgot Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm out of practice, but Saturday and Sunday is going to be great. Celebrate that. We'll do a barbecue for Glenn. Do something. We'll see what Glenn wants. I'll see what Glenn wants to do. We're going to be all exhausted. We're going to lay it out in the sun, 80 degrees on Saturday after a long week of celebrating for graduations. Sunday is going to be nice too to celebrate Father's Day.
Absolutely, yeah. And you just mentioned Glenn. If those are unfamiliar and the last name sounds familiar, yes, her husband is Glenn Schuck on 1010 Wins. Does an amazing job there. So it's been there for how long is it, Jen? It's got forever.
Glenn, he's been there 23 years.
Wow. Long time. long time. Absolutely. So yeah, so if the name sounds familiar, that is Jen's husband. Does a great job on 1010 Wins. You did a great job there, Jen, with the weather, bringing it back to your news anchor days.
That was really fun because it's probably the only thing I didn't do.
You didn't do
because I always joke around. I'm like, I've done everything you can think of except stand in front of a weather wall.
Right.
So there you go.
There you go. We provided the second best ideas to do weather here from my living room. instead of a green screen and a weather wall. So great job, Jen. Excellent stuff. All right, Jen, good to see you as always.
You too, Don.
You can find more information on New York Waterway at their website, newyorkwaterway.com. And again, we have their 4th of July cruise coming up, obviously 4th of July, but you want to make sure you get those tickets right away. Let me just do this here. There we go. Get those tickets in, get those tickets online. Here today, make sure, it's not going to be a full sell. I mean, the boat itself is not going to be completely full, as Jen said. So, tickets are fairly limited. So you want to get in early. Yes. Make sure you get those tickets, newyorkwaterway.com/July 4th, and Macy's fireworks, food, drinks, and DJs. Just great stuff. And if you happen to go on the cruise or whatever, when on that Tuesday afterwards, send us some pictures here in the Tri-State Traffic.
Yes, and tag the, all the social accounts for Waterway, at Ride the Ferry Twitter, New York Waterway on Instagram and Facebook, and also we have adult, senior, and children pricing. So there's different pricing for everyone. So.
Awesome. Great stuff. All right, Jen, always good to see you. And thanks for joining us. We'll have to bring you on again here and talk more about New York Waterway. So always a pleasure.
Absolutely fun.
Take care now. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Jen Schuck from New York Waterway. We thank her very much for coming on the broadcast here this morning. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Darley Newman, sponsored in part by Travels with Darley. You watch her on PBS Create, Amazon Prime, Wondrum, and on Ovation TV's Journey, as well as my good friend Ralph over at the Crime for Vanilla Bean Creamery, crimeforvanillabeancreamery.com at 22 North Avenue West. 908-272-3000 is Ralph's phone number. So I want to go back to the maps here just very, very quickly. And Jen did an awesome job with the weather, so we already took care of that here for this half hour. Just want to check up on a couple of things here in the last hour or so. Just to see if things have settled down, especially New Jersey. So east on 495 here, that's the approach to the Lincoln. For the out by the Turnpike, one lane is shut there, so we're going to watch for that. But other than that, it kind of looks like it's settling down, except for this 287 slowdown here this morning out by the rest area in Harding. This is like around exit 33 or so, roughly. I would imagine. I don't have anything from DOT as far as that being an accident, but there may be some construction. We're into the time frame here. I know we're a little bit into the overtime at 9:25, but it was fun talking with Jen here. I haven't spoken to her in quite some time from New York Waterway. Let's go to 287. They're saying road work, but that's going south here. So the shoulder, usually it's the shoulder that's shut down, but this is going north Parsippany. So I'm not sure what the deal is with 287. There could be maybe some pothole repairs. I don't see any accidents being reported, so you want to watch for that here. That section of Somerset into Morris counties this morning. Parkway were cleared out. Still a little heavy here along 287. I think this is some road work setting up in the Oakland area south of 58 or so. And then we've got 208, a little busy out by Maple Avenue. Still with the Parkway 80, that is going to be in pretty good shape. Let's head down the shore for, again, our spot check here. We'll go to 9:30. Let's say we'll go for another 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up for the morning. We'll head over to 55, 42. That's a little bit busy still. 295, the Turnpike, that is looking good here this morning. 33, Route 9 in Lakewood, just some local delays there. Also the Parkway through Brick and Tom's River, things are fine. All the way down towards exit 0. So maybe a day to get out towards the shore and enjoy some of the sand in between your toes, with the weather going to be a little bit warmer today. Let's go to the city quickly. Some delays here across the Verrazano. Same thing on the Belt by Bay 8th Street. And in Gowanus is a mess, heading up and onto the promenade there, and then south along the BQE as you get south of the Kosciuszko Bridge. Midtown Tunnel running about a half an hour, 15 at the Queensboro Bridge, about 10 apiece at the lower east here. Van Wyck is still banged up both ways in the Hillside Avenue. West on the Belt is heavy at the airport. Cross Island, we're still pretty solid ride from the southern, but it's thinning out passing Belmont Racetrack, Belmont Stakes this weekend. Fairly exciting. Local boy wins there at the Belmont Stakes. Went to Elmont High School, not too far from the track, which is always a great story in itself. Eastbound LI is heavy at the Clearview, and then the westbound still is pretty heavy in the Queens Boulevard. Whitestone Expressway is busy getting up to the Whitestone. So is the RFK Triborough. The Bronx, typical delays both ways. The Cross Bronx, it never ends here. Essentially from Webster Avenue to the George is the lower roadway, setting up midday road work there at the George. And then both ways to the Deegan is pretty heavy here at the RFK. Throgsneck Whitestone, still fairly slow. West on the LIE is still pretty busy here between exits 40 and 39. Southern State still seeing a lot of volume. It's already almost 9:30, and that volume is still out there both ways between the Meadowbrook and the Wantagh. And then we'll head out east. Look at that. Actually cleared up things a little bit slightly, but still some delays at Sunrise Highway, Southampton, Watermill, into Bridgehampton. And then we make our way on over to Connecticut. Let me just check at the incident page here this morning, because I see some northbound delays, but just want to see if that's road work or what. North 35, 37, 10 to 13. So there is road work there this morning until about 3 o'clock. So that's why that is going to be busy right in here, getting out of Stamford into Darien. So setting up that road work on time. Then south is still pretty heavy from about 18 down through 11 or so. The Merritt is pretty much from 41, really from 39 out to 37. Bridgeport, Trumbull, that looks good. Lower Westchester, we are fine here this morning. That's a slight delay just before the Tappan Zee Bridge. Thruway 84, Route 6, Upper Westchester, Dutchess counties are all going to be in the clear. We'll get one more minute here in the broadcast. We'll just kind of run down our transit situation very quickly. We still have some subway delays in 234 and the L train. Also on Metro North, we still have delays on the New Haven branch. Still up to 15 to 20 because those earlier power issues in Westchester through Harrison and Mount Vernon East. Some delays still on the Oyster Bay branch, about 10 minutes there, doing a Long Island City. So look for that. Let's go to NJ Transit. We'll check out the vibe here. Hopefully the computer is not with this overtime. Let's see, 831 into Burnsville is canceled. Sterling because of mechanical issues. And then Pascagoula Valley, 840 is 20 minutes late there. And then it's canceled at 722. We've been mentioned to you all morning long. Operator availability. All right. So I think with that said, and we've said a lot here this morning, haven't we, friends? We are going to wrap it up for the morning. Definitely want to thank Jen Schuck from New York Waterway. Always a pleasure to talk to you about all the great things happening at New York Waterway. Again, go onto the website, newyorkwaterway.com, for more information about just general information, also about the 4th of July cruise she mentioned, the IKEA ferry, which I didn't even know about until she mentioned it. That's kind of a cool deal. Get a free ferry ride on the weekends, then put your in your bedroom set or whatever you can carry onto the boat. Is a lot of fun. But that 4th of July cruise looks absolutely amazing. Again, we thank Jen for coming on here this morning. Also want to thank Darley Newman, Travels with Darley, for sponsoring the broadcast. Same thing with Ralph over at the Cranford Vanilla Bean Creamery. So with all of that said, we're going to end things here this morning and make it a fantastic Monday, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow, everyone.